live today.
Right. We are live. Let's get it going. Welcome. Let's go ahead and get it going. Get it popping. How is everyone doing? Oh, this is beautiful.
Hello.
Woo! Welcome as promised. Looky. In the words of Martin Lawrence. We are live. And I told you that I had a treat for you. If you look, you will see all of the people. All of the activists who are making Chicago, holding Chicago accountable, holding that mayor accountable, holding the city council accountable. We're going to do our roll call. You know what to do. Hit that like button. I'm going to introduce everyone, and then I have a short video to share with you from Miss Prosperity's channel. Make sure, if you have not already, make sure you go over and sub her up. She is definitely putting in the work, and she is sharing all the information with us that we need to know what is going on in Chicago. They are the grassroots. They are doing the groundwork that we are unable to do because we don't live there. Now, let's do roll call. All right. And if you want me to call your name, all you have to do is say something or send an emoji. Toy Mafia, Cha-Cha, Florida, Chicago Hood. Oh, wow. Everyone who's here, the Arena Uncensored, Antoine, Laurie. Oh, my God. They're here. A lot of other people are here. Fairly, C. Ramirez, Tina, Tijuana Border Jumper. Everyone's coming in. Look at the title. Chicago City. Democrats are done. Thank you, Jesus. Guests discuss flipping Chicago red. We're speaking that into existence. I'm going to call off everyone's name, and then I'm going to play a short video, and then they're just going to have at it. Get your questions ready. Get your popcorn ready, because we're going to get this party started. Let's welcome Miss Lisa, Miss Jessica Jackson, Zoe Lee, Mr. T.Y. Stewart Lee Simmons, all right, and of course, Miss Prosperity. Let me share a video with you, because Miss Prosperity, I'm telling you, when I was done looking at this video, my computer screen was on fire. She's no joke. The only way to freedom. She's got it right here. So let me get this going. We're going to watch this, and then we're going to go ahead and get this started. Because I saw this, and I said, this is a perfect intro. Here we go.
Chicago. The world. You all need to hear this. Brandon Johnson, who they call the mayor of Chicago, who people possibly voted into that role, or he got in elsewise. He pulled another fast one on us at the council meeting. You were signed up to speak at the next time frame of 2 o'clock today. And he calls for a vote to cancel the meeting and postpone it to a later date so that he couldn't hear us speak. He saw the names more likely that was on the list of speakers and refused to allow our voices to be heard. So that sounds like another First Amendment that's an issue here, again, with the man who plays the race card, and he ain't got to be black for nobody but his black wife and his black children. But forget all the other children that are out here, as the CTU was also invited down here at City Hall today. And they didn't even have an opportunity because some of them were selected to speak as well. He didn't want to hear it. He does not like the truth. This man is clearly progressive and a liberal and a communist, because you don't have an option. You don't have a voice. You don't have a choice. He's no different than the person running for president, and you know who she is. So I'm telling you all, you better make a change in how you're handling your business when it comes down to this voting, because they are doing everything possible to dictate to you what you're going to do. Not ask you, make you. And if you think you in the land of free, you don't have a clue. Because the way they trying to move this city and even other places in the world, it'll be third world. Trump wasn't lying. This is actually going on here in Chicago. It happened today. It happened last month. It's happening all the time. He's even made some statements today in the council meeting about making a decision without having to have anybody else's input. I'm telling you all, when you go to those polls, know what you're dealing with, because he's fooling you all if you think that this man is not trying to govern your life. He doesn't have a clue. No, I did not vote for him. So don't even start that in my comments.
That's right.
Because I am a conservative and have been one for over a decade, seeing how they've been manipulating this system and how this machine has been rigged. And therefore, I don't buy into it. So if you believe in God, you need to go the right route and not go this crooked, underhanded method of getting things done, because you all are seeing all the play rules that they're trying to do. They're playing every last one of them. Talk to you later.
Okay, I already told you she was a little ball of fire. I warned you. So I wanted to share that video, and now I'm just going to let them have at it. Whoever wants to speak first. Hey, we're trying to soak up every bit of knowledge that you are sharing with us. If you are here and you are enjoying this, please go ahead and hit that like button. Share this stream out on your various forms of social media. We just had Mr. More Real News just joined. Hi, how are you, sir?
Hello, how's everybody doing? Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. I don't know who's going to speak first, but you have lots of friends here in the chat section, and I count myself among your friends and supporters of all of you. So tell me, we want to know, you're there, what's going on in Chicago, and the most important, are we gonna flip it red?
Yes, we
Yes,
are.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Yes, yes.
We are
Yes,
flipping
we
it.
are. Yes, yes.
We are flipping it.
Yes, that's what I wanted to hear.
I
Now,
just want to make one announcement before any one of you get started, because I know they've heard a lot from me the last time I was on, and that's the reason why I wanted to invite all of you, because I like for them to hear from you all. Mr. George Blakemore was not able to attend today. We were having some technical difficulties, but hopefully we'll get him on next time. And that's all I wanted to mention. Thank you.
okay, that's great.
Okay.
Okay,
All
good.
right.
Well, let me say this.
Yes, ma'am.
I was there at City Hall with everyone, last Wednesday. And when you really observe the fact that the way Mayor Johnson take care of business, he's not following none of the rules. He doesn't care about the constituents. He cares nothing about you. He gonna do what he wants to do, whether you speaking out on it or not.
Right.
Which is the main reason why I didn't vote for the mayor. First off, I couldn't figure out for the life of me how he even got on the ballot. Do anybody know that? He was just there. I don't even know. Today, I still don't understand. I never liked his retarded looking behind. I won't start cussing him, but let me see if I hold my tongue a little bit. But just how much I don't like this man. Okay.
Yep.
He's a waste of space.
Okay.
And to be a black man, I'm sick and tired of us as a people get into a political role of any kind that can do something for their own people and don't. Now, he's an immigrant, but he lied to everybody and said he was black, just like this Kamala chick over here. Okay, this Kamala chick, she don't know what she is, okay? She ain't worth a quarter, period, all right? Yeah. But you can see from her track record that she couldn't stand the black man.
No.
Okay, you can see from the track record, and then she's in denial. I'm not black. Okay, you look black. We're going to use this when it's convenient. Right. Oh, well, I'm a sister. So these dumb sisters out here, us, running around trying to vote for her for what reason? Because she's a sister, and that's what they voting for. It's no reason, no valid. It's not about the policies.
No.
I mean, none of that.
No,
this is the answer that I'm getting when I'm arguing with people about Trump and Kamala. The reason why I'm going for Trump, let me explain this. The reason why I'm going for Trump is his policies. his policies goes along more or less the Bible, we'll say. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Christian base, which
Right.
is common sense.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's mainly the conservative aspect of it. And the fact that he has experience, because he showed you when he was in term, what was that, 2016, that 4-year term he was in?
Right.
The economy itself, you know, employment rate went down. Black men had jobs, girl. They was able to get a job, okay?
Facts.
Oh, come on now, facts. Gas price went down. Food had it wasn't inflation with the food. Taxes didn't rise, none of that.
Right.
Everybody was sort of like, you know, getting along just fine.
Right.
Yeah, times were still hard for us, you know. It's gonna always be a little hard for us anyway, because you can't have enough money, because none of us is rich, right?
That's right.
But you wasn't stressing out. The stress level was not there.
That's right.
People are stressed every day.
Yep.
Every day. And see, I'm one of those. I'm stressed for my people. Yeah, I might be reasonably okay.
Right.
I'm not to the point where I'm just broke down or nothing, but
Right.
it's not about me. It's about all of us.
It's about
That's what this is all about. That's
right.
what I tell you, and a lot of Black people, that we need to organize and unite together, fight together. See, it's us and them. That's what this is all about.
That's right.
Us against them. Understand this. It doesn't matter if you friends or not. I can't stand your drawers or nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's us against them.
Right.
Now, as for these other folks that's insisting on going for this Democratic situation here, I've been a Democrat since I was able to vote. What was it? It's 18, what is it, 16, 18, whatever. It's a long. I'm in my 60s now. So, you know, anyway.
Right.
I've been a Democrat all those years. And I was a Democrat simply because my parents were Democrats.
Yep. That's what people say.
I didn't get into the politics or nothing. I didn't ask the question. It wasn't about, well, why, who, or none of that. It's who we vote for, which one.
Right.
Okay, so-and-so. That's it. It was only until I started to kind of like paying attention the way we were living, the way other people were living around me, as when it started, wait a minute, let me take some time out and do a little research on these people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because some of this stuff that I'm hearing is nonsense. This wild, bogus crap that these guys are doing today, oh gosh, by far has got to be the most wildest I've ever seen.
That's right.
I've never seen such nastiness, demonic nastiness in my life. And the kids are getting affected by this. Now, these kids are going to be running this country eventually.
Yeah, facts.
Okay? We got to get this straightened out now. Right now, today. Okay? Right now. These people, I got 3 grandkids. I'm not going to hold y'all too long now, but I have 3 grandkids. I have 2 teenage sons and 1 little girl, 7 years old. My son told me, grandson, he says, Grandma, I'm not going to the washroom. Why? He said, well, they done changed the washroom, the unisex washroom. I'm not uncomfortable with that. I'm just not comfortable. I'm not going. I just wait until the classes, you know, when the class start, I tell the teacher, can I run to the washroom so there won't be nobody in there?
Right.
Why should you have to be worrying about such a thing, okay, in the first place?
Facts.
That's just, why should a kid worry about that? It makes no sense. Now, let's don't forget. Remember the Constitution test that y'all had to take? I don't know if y'all had to take that.
Yeah.
Time ago. The Constitution test you had to take to graduate out of grade school. Remember?
Right.
Who took that test?
Right.
You see what I mean? I found out they didn't have a Constitution test no more. Now, when did that happen? How you gonna know the law if you don't have a Constitution test? If you don't learn the Constitution, how you gonna know the law?
Right.
See, my grandson told me that when the other one had graduated last year.
Right.
He said, Grandma, they don't do Constitution tests. Dang, how long has it been since you've been in school? You know, they think I'm always a dirt sometime.
Yeah.
That's
That's what they tell us. If you're over here,
but I was shocked about it. You know, that kind of led me into another avenue. all of this has been ran by Democrats. Now, notice this.
That's right.
Mainly politically, we've been ran for over 40 years Democratic. Those little spots in the road, Republicans in between then didn't count. Majority, we've been ran democratically over 40 years. And what have we established so far? You know what I'm saying? What have we established?
Just total destruction.
Disgusting. Disgusting.
You know, but you have to look at, we have to look at the whole picture.
Right.
Now, historically, the Republicans are the ones who did the Emancipation Proclamation that got slavery abolished.
That's right.
They did the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. They promised the 40 acres and the mule. When we first entered into government, we came into government as Republicans.
Facts.
Okay? Now, once that whole Reconstruction era took place, where now the troops came out of the South because after the Civil War and stuff was over. Then that gave opportunity for the Democrats to set up, quote unquote, to set up shop again. Right. And that's when they brought in segregation and Jim Crow again. Now, our parents, like you say, the migration. My parents were from that Mississippi Jim Crow South. I'm first generation Chicago.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And my father is that generation that at 15 years old, like we were talking about earlier, that caught that one-way train from Mississippi to Chicago. Come on, at 15 years old by himself to get out of Jim Crow South.
Right.
My mother came to Chicago out of Mississippi and Jim Crow after she went to college. She went to Tougaloo College in Mississippi.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that was the migration. Now, when you look at the 1964 Civil Rights Bill, yeah, our parents voted Democrat. Yeah, King agreed to that because it would end segregation. It would end Jim Crow. Right. So you couldn't fault them for voting Democrat.
Right.
You say what you want to, but all of us are looking back in retrospect, being able to come and go how we please.
That's true. That's true.
The people at that time who was dealing with it at that time. And like me and Doris laugh about all the time, if you think they was punks, if you think it wasn't about nothing, then the next time you get on the bus, you pay your fare on the front and you walk to the back of the bus.
Right.
Next time you go to a hotel, you go around through the back door. The next time you want something to eat, you pay your money at the window and go out back to go get it. If you think what they did wasn't about nothing.
Facts.
They did what they had to do at that period of time. If you think it wasn't about nothing, you go out there and take them billy clubs, dog bites, water hoses. You do it.
Facts.
We're not going to disrespect none of our ancestors. All of them put their work in for us to be where we are today.
And they did.
And anything that you don't agree with, we got free reign to change it now because the laws are there. But we are not in the place to do nothing but give respect to our ancestors. The ones that you agree with their tactics, okay. Right. The ones that you didn't, that's okay too.
They were trying.
Because the reality is this. You're right, we have to come together and all this and that, but there ain't never been a period of time where everybody moved the same way.
That's right.
Now, we could all have the same goal, but we're not going to all move the same way because everybody is not of the same circumstance. That's so, right. Of course, when I was at 18, I did the same thing you did, Lisa. Of course, you go to your parents and who I'm supposed to vote for, Mom. And of course, they said Democrats because the Democrats have got them out of Jim Crow. Of course. And so, yeah, we then voted Democrat. Of course. Yep. Of course. But now, here comes my children. Come on.
Okay.
They see, they got common sense. So my son was the first one to talk about, I ain't finna vote for Biden with that Trump and Biden election.
Wow.
And I said, well, who you gonna vote for? I'm gonna vote for Trump. If I was to vote, I'd vote for Trump. Well, why? And again, you know, having that male nature, he coming with the logic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then another trusted friend of mine who was a male, we talking, who you voting for? He was voting Republican. At that time, I was living in California.
Oh, wow.
So, of course, his view, and I'm like, why you voting Republican? He said, look in California. Don't you see them immigrants taking all our jobs under this Democrat stuff?
Wow.
And that was some years back. So then me and my daughter talking, she listening to my son. And then, okay, you know what? So that was the election that I voted for Trump the first time when it was against Biden, because there was no way I could vote for Biden. When Biden, I knew I was old enough to remember, just like you, Lisa, that crime bill.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Come
wow.
on, we remember that. This ain't no movie. We remember that. We remember the crack epidemic. We remember that.
Miss Jackson, you remember, but let me ask you something. I'm glad you're hitting on everything that we've been saying on this channel. You remember, but millions of other people remember it. They're like they have amnesia. Could you please address that?
I mean, it's just, you know what? I'm gonna say a little bit, and I'm gonna let Samson, Michael, and so him go in on that. But it's just part of the brainwashing. You know, brainwashing is real. It's part of the brainwashing. It goes back to what I believe as far as the plantation. When you were here, probably Harriet Tubman and them giving the signal for the Underground Railroad, and it would be some Negroes that would be ready to go, and it would be some talking about how you know that's her. How you know that's her? You know, the same thing. Like you laugh about the North Star. There go the North Star. Let's follow the North Star. And if some of them would go, and some, how you know that's the North Star? That may not be the North Star. And that's what we're seeing right now. You're seeing an evolution of mind. And we saying, go red. Let's try the other wing, since we always talking about same bird, different wing. Okay, let's try the different wing. But now you got some that's scared to make that move. That's the only thing I can come up with. But you know, y'all younger than me, y'all can see something different. But that's what I think.
You know, you ought to put that.
That was excellent. Hey, I'm excited. Let me hear more real news or Mr. Tawan, someone else say something. This is good.
Because they gonna light it up.
You lit it up already. Woo, it's hot.
What's going on? What's going on? What everybody said is absolutely true and profound. And so I'm gonna work my way backwards from what Ms. Jackson said. Why people act like they don't remember? Because it's like our people got short memory now.
Okay.
They can post something in the news, just been in the news not too long ago, and our people will forget it. They forget what Biden has done or said. They forget what Kamala Harris has done in the previous. Not just that, our people forget to the point as though she is in office right now. And all these campaign promises she putting out there saying she gonna do, they forget she can do that right now while she in office.
Thank you.
You know, that's the thing. Your past work should show whether you belong in office again. And they past work don't show that.
Nope.
And then it's being brought up through the school system as how and why our people are Democrats. Look at them young men that stood around Obama and laughed, though he was looking down on, as he say, now he cool the brothers.
Okay, thank you.
And it's a lot of points that everybody is caught up in this internet stuff. You know, like I could have posted what Obama said, because I saw when CBS kind of first put it out there, I could have posted and things like that on my TikTok page, etc. But I don't do that because I don't even want people like that on my page.
Right.
I don't want to give off no image of what these Democrats is pushing out there.
Nope.
Because them young men that's in that college that he was speaking to or whatever, They should have spoke on what he said. It shouldn't been no laughing. That's a no laughing matter. But he points out why we voted for this for health care. He promised us Obamacare. We still paying co-pays, etc. We still can't get good health service. You know, we still can't, especially if you got what they call the free health care, public assistance or whatever, and things like that. Man, all you can get from the emergency room is some Tylenol. You can't get no pure, genuine health and health care here in the United States. And even those with good health care and things like that, when they look at your complexion and things like that, they not gonna give you your all. They not gonna put it in there because they've been trained. They've been trained in school to act a certain way towards our people. We see the racism more than anything right now today. You know, it's a system. It's in. I'm not speaking bad on the church or nothing like that, but it's a system. It's a church system. That's why the mayor keep trying to get all these reverends to be on these boards and things like that, these committees, etc. You got reverends like Hall saying he a reverend, but you in the city council, you can't do both. You ain't supposed to mix state and church. So that's where the lack of the Constitution come in at. You see what I'm saying? So these things been instilled in our people over the years. So it's that's why they got their chests out big and bold to do these, as Miss Lawrence say, these demonic things. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like they flexing. You know what I'm saying? They done turned into the bully. The word they actually took off the school system. That's because they don't want you to know what the word bully is. So that way, when they bully you, you don't even recognize it. Mm-hmm. You know, that's what's going on. But I'm gonna yield the flow for a minute. I'm just, you know, I ain't cut loose because I ain't never been live really. And I thank you and I give honors to you for having me on your live, because I know from things that I done said, they'll cut your live off. You know, they'll signal the next people, hey, don't let them on your show. You know, etc. Things like that, because that's what I have experienced. So that's why I haven't even went live on my YouTube page, because I'm gonna speak truth to power. I'm not gonna play around with you. I don't care what you think about me or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Some people hate on me because I say I'm a Moorish American, but I'm gonna stand on mine. I'm not like Kamala Harris. If you couldn't stand yourself and you're not black, and that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? But at least have pride to say what you is.
What you are.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with Obama. Our people ain't trip on Obama at least four times that I counted, that he said he's not a black man, he's a Kenyan American. And we ain't trip on that. We still went out and supported. You know what I'm saying? Be real about who you is or who you feel you is. And we need to show that love towards each other no matter what. Okay. And I'm gonna yield the floor.
Yeah, and you know what you said, some of what you said, more real news. What you said about the preachers, oh my God, I know I've done 2 or 3 videos about black preachers, and they're not talking about helping you save your soul. They're sitting up there talking about telling you who to vote for and how awful Trump is and how wonderful that Kamala is, and all these Democrats running for office. How are you supposed to help me save my soul? Just like with Fonnie Willis down there. When they put her up, the Democrats put her up to try to take Trump down. Now she's trying to keep herself out of jail. These black preachers called her in, giving her awards. No. And they know she got up there and lied on the stand. What is wrong with these people? We have got to stop. So I don't care if you black or purple or green. Either you're right or you're wrong. Oh, we still gotta support her. No, we don't. I'm not going down with the Titanic. If you're wrong, you just wrong. And so part of what you said, like I said, I've done a few videos on that. So what do you think, Mr. Tawan, Stewart, Lee, Sims?
So you can just call me Tawan or Mr. Sims. So this is my first rodeo. Let me say that.
Okay, I'm glad to have you.
And no, what I mean by that is focusing solely on politics and becoming so aware of, like, the city government and what's happening politically around. Like, so much so how it affects my day-to-day living. You didn't know so much. Came down to City Hall with a complaint. And now I find myself wrapped up with a group of people who came in the sense with the same endeavor. Miss Jessica Jackson came down there to, bring the light that they have tried to take her property, steal her property.
Oh.
Joey is in a whole different boat because they've demolished the property and don't want to compensate her. Then you could say me and Mr. Young, they are in the same boat because we're dealing with a housing issue.
Right.
And been dealing with this issue for quite a while. So now, as I come into City Hall with one issue, everything is unraveling before me. And I even find myself now caught up, not because I wanted to be, but because now it's like, if I just look past this, then I'm almost going to feel complicit. This is criminal what's happening to Black America,
Yes, it is.
So am I grateful for the moment? No, not really, because I would rather it not be happening. But I'm grateful that God has elected me to be in the moment. Let's say that. So this ridiculous. Let me say, housing, education, finance, public safety, all the areas that we should be covering, all the areas that we should have focused on were sacrificed to the New Arrival Initiative.
Yep.
Americans get nothing out of it, and we'll get nothing out of it. However, when we find ourselves speaking directly to the issues in the city council, then we attack. They try to nullify the truth in that room by all means and every means, whether they're using a CPD, whether they're using judges, whichever. And it's impossible to see a group of people abuse their public figure. What is it? Public figure power, whatever it is, power they got against the constituents, against the people they supposed to be serving.
We said, yep.
So how is this possible? And no news. Look, we get no news, no press, unless the press is there to cover Brandon Johnson. And I know he hated when we get on that mic. By all means, it's been just chances. I realized that when I look at some past clips or past, it's just been chances that we've been able to speak directly to issues.
Right.
And he'll get caught up in it. And you'll just see him standing there looking like, and I wonder if he think it's a personal attack.
Well, you know what, Mr. Sims, and like I said, I've talked, I've had several conversations with Miss Prosperity, and I told her that's what got me, in the fight. I'm not there to do the groundwork that you're doing, but when I really started paying attention, anyone with more than 2 brain cells can look at this and see that this is not right for you to bring non-Americans in, give them everything when Chicago has been poor forever. And every time Chicagoans ask for money, there is none.
Right.
But you bring in non-Americans, you have millions and billions. That's a problem. And like talking to Miss Prosperity, I told her that's when I really started paying attention. And again, for Chicago, has always been close to my heart. I haven't been there yet, but I do plan to visit one day. But when I just looked at everything that was happening there, I told you, Miss Prosperity, what got me was watching those city council meetings. And those people, like I said, you were their constituents, sitting there looking like just total disgust, looks of disgust on their face, like you were bothering them, like looking at you like, yeah, who cares?
That's every day, though. Right. That's every day.
Yeah, well, that's how I got in the fray. Okay, I'm like, wait a minute. Are they doing these people like this?
Yes.
You got rid of Lori Lightfoot and then got someone 10 times worse. And so Miss Prosperity, let me address this to you. We talked about this. When, and all of you, everything you said is dead on point. When a Black American is going to wake up and stop letting them, just like Obama, just like with Kamala, what are they doing? They package it, and they put it in front here. Give this to them. This person is black.
And
because of gender, right? We got to get out of this gender and this skin stuff. That's why we're in bad shape now. What policies do they have? Miss Prosperity, could you please address that? Because that's why we're in bad shape. People
actually, I don't see the Democratic Party having any policies, but I do see a lot of anger within them.
Yep.
And trying to shame, because I've been going through this for over a decade, where people would try to shame me, rather it can be family, friends, or whomever, that will try to make you feel bad and ask you, why would you support this and why would you support that and so forth. Well, you know, I have to go with my own mindset and where my Holy Spirit is leading me through. So that's why I choose to take down this path. But what other people are hooked on is habit. And a habit is hard to break when you're stuck in that rut and don't try to continuously do something different. And a lot of people don't like change. They settle with the same status quo, but thinking that something is going to change just on its own. But I'm going to go back to the Bible where it talks about the faith without works is dead. And people do not want to apply it. And then they want the gifts, they want the blessings, they want the prizes, but they don't want to work for it. Right. And like if everything is just going to drop in our laps. And it's not just how that happens. You know, that hard work does pay off. And I know I'm in an old school generation. So I'm in the baby boomers. Right. And the baby boomers, we believed in that hard work and hard effort. Right. But a lot of people in this next generation behind us is with the technology has taken away a lot of that. Yes. Facts. So it's not as easy as they think. So mine is specifically on the policies. Right. Then I watch my results come in. And that's how you know when something is working for you. You don't keep going down the same road to get to, I'm going to use this race from Mississippi, anywhere. And you're never getting there after 30 years, 40 years. Facts. Just being on the same road. So try something different. Like I put that little rap tune. It was a rhyme, but I turned it into a little rap tune about trying something new. Because that's what I find even in my occupation, that a lot of people don't like change. But they don't like change either when their pockets are empty. They don't like change either when they go into that grocery store and finding out you're paying double, if not triple. Right. Let's talk about a turkey, $50, $60. Come on now. And keep it. That's ridiculous. And I don't care if you are in the poor bracket or in the rich bracket, because rich don't like to pay extra than what they want to pay or need to pay. I'm gonna tell you that. That's right. So it don't matter what bracket you're in. The stance is that we got to look at what is facts, not opinions. And facts remain that when we were going through the Trump era of 2016 on up to that 2020 time period, people was living better. Yes, they were. We can't say that as Blacks we didn't have any stress, because we do. Right. But I'm saying it has not been tripled. Right. And quadrupled to the degree where now people are going at odds with one another. Because I'm dealing with this matter, I'm dealing with that matter, and not realizing how we can come off at other people too while we dealing with our own things. Facts. So those things happen. And if we want to relieve a lot of this unnecessary stuff, we got to get back on that path of what is right. And right is red. The Bible even talks about that from the left to the right. There's scriptural in there. Oh, that's it. So we need to stay on that right path. And that right path is where it's leading us. And if Trump is the selected one to be up there to lead it, it's not about Trump all per se. It's about the whole party. Right. And getting back to the morals of God. That part. Because without him, ain't nothing gonna work. He can just withdraw a spirit right at the second and this body will drop.
Oh yeah.
So who are we to say we self-sufficient, we do our own? We're not. We're here for helping one another. That's why we got to look at the one who Trump said, and I'm going to quote what Trump said.
Okay.
It's not verbatim, but he said it. When someone said, "Oh, Trump, you're huge, you're large," and then he says, "Oh no, there's someone bigger than me."
Oh yeah.
And that's the man above. That's God.
That's right.
And I said, okay, now that's what I'm talking about, because those conservative values, they align with scripture more than these others that says we're going to do things our way. It's our way, highway. And if you don't like it, we're going to penalize you, just like they did during the time when they had that, you know what, shot.
That's right.
And then tried to penalize people, or you're going to lose your job. You're going to lose your livelihood. Who does that? So we got to look at what's real at y'all and get off of this train of thinking that everything go easy. Everything is not going to be easy, but the fight is real. The struggle is real, and we have to actually stand on what we believe if we want to take our cities back. And that means we got to support this. And I'm going to get on that voters thing, because I know y'all waiting on this one.
You know, hey, we're not going anywhere, and we won't let you leave until you tell us about that. I'm going to Chicago and hold you down. You're going to tell us something.
Oh, yes. You know, and the reason why we all need to get out there and vote red, Republican Party, is because they are not requiring ID here in Chicago to vote.
Say it again for the people in the back, please.
They are not requiring ID for people to vote. Therefore, anybody can come up and give a name. Hell, even the dead can vote. You can use a dead person's name. And I know quite a few of you that are on this call right now, on this live right now, have been over there to that county meeting, because I saw it, where they had 6 people get up in succession of one another, speaking about the voters' roll and all those illegitimate people on the voters' roll.
Wow.
So we have to come forth. This is it. This is it right now. This is it, where we have to make a decision. And I am actually pushing and requesting that you all turn this place out with red.
Yes.
Turn it out. All across the United States. Swing state. Oh, another new little ploy that the Democrats are trying to pull is take a lot of the illegals over to the swing states.
Yep.
So that they can start trying to vote over there, because that's what matters to them. They think because we're already blue, that's how it's going to stay. Yep. They think because they're already red, that's how it's going to stay. But those swing states are what's critical to them. And now they're trying to push a lot of them over into the swing states and try to get them to vote up in those states.
Yes.
That's why we got to come out strong and powerful this time.
That's why.
And even if, and I'm going to say, even if people don't and just refuse to do any voting, then don't vote Democrat. That's all I got to say about that. Period.
Miss Prosperity. And I've said that. And I'm glad you said that. How you doing, Thor? Wise word. Thor says wise words, Miss Prosperity. And everything that she said, it's all true, folks. We don't sit here and make this stuff up. We talk a lot, but I'm glad that the people who are on the front lines, they see what's going on. And we've been talking about, they are not willing to relinquish power. We know, if you look at it, Ms. Prosperity, we talked about this last night. You look at how Barack Obama's out here. It's like he's campaigning for himself, and then he puts her name at the end. We know he's trying to have a 4th term. We know what's going on.
He's doing a bad job at it.
Yes, he is. If you're enjoying this content, folks, go ahead and hit that like button. I want to thank everyone for the super chat. Tijuana Border Jumper, thank you for the super chat. I had to do this so I don't forget. And also, Tijuana Border Jumper said, God, family, and country first. Yes, that's what this is what they're saying. 23 days, folks. Vote early, Hand deliver your ballots to the registrar of voters if you can. Don't trust the Postal Service. Policy, not personality. Yes, that's what we're all saying.
Absolutely.
Tijuana Border Jumper also said, it sounds so good to know we are all uniting as one people, as Americans, united under one flag. Uplift, uprise, glory bound. Yes, and that's what Miss Prosperity, I told you, that's what we talk about on this channel. We are not at liberty, and we do not have the luxury of saying black people over here, white people over here, Hispanic over here. No, 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 no. We have one common enemy. And as we discussed, the Democrats are not going to do anything for black or white Americans. They only do for non-citizens. So stop letting them divide us. Come together against our common enemy. Miss Jackson, how would you like to address that?
Well, Zoe can go ahead and go because she haven't come in yet.
Oh, okay.
She know what it is.
How you doing, Miss Zoe?
Hi, yeah, I'm going. There's a lot going on. You know, I'm in the housing fight. So I'm currently in Harvey, Illinois. Yeah, I'm currently in Harvey, Illinois because they are trying to eminent domain. Well, they are. Well, they're trying to eminent domain one block here where a man that's 89 years old has been in his house since 1973, 2 houses, to put a retention pond. And it's just, you know, it's just them taking our property. So I'm out here trying to convince Harvey, Illinois to flip red, because that's the only thing that's gonna do something, gonna make something happen.
All right, she's freezing a little bit.
Yes, again, I'm sorry. This was
all right.
Yeah, you hear me?
Zoe's freezing there.
But that's
Zoe, you may have to go back. She's muted. Okay. Okay.
She's coming back.
Okay.
But that's the thing that, like she said, we dealing with a housing crisis. So Obama that's why I say the people not talking on them points they saying. They study folks saying, oh, Obama went down on the brothers, Obama on the brothers, Obama brothers this, the brothers that. No, speak on them issues, he said. And one of the main issues was his housing. Ms. Jackson dealing with a housing issue. Ms. Zoe dealing with a housing issue. Mr. Sims dealing with a housing issue. Mr. Youngbay dealing with a housing issue. That's myself. And Mr. Blakemore was dealing with a housing issue over his heat not being on for over a year. You know, the housing crisis is very serious. It's very serious because if you ain't got no housing, which me and my family don't have, you ain't got no housing. You can't get yourself together. You can't pick yourself up like you need to be. You can't get a moment of silence with the Father like that because you're worried about this here, that there, someone harming you on the streets with your family and things like that. It's a lot of stress that goes into that, you know, and people hate it because, you know, I try to keep myself up and my family up to the best of our abilities. So they seeing me come down to City Hall with a suit on and things like that. So like I tell people, if I don't tell you I'm homeless, you wouldn't know it. You know what I'm saying? Because but it's a struggle. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people ain't got the do-how, the know-how, or the blessings, or whatever person may want to call it to present themselves in a certain fashion so they can get employment and things like that, you know. But it's a struggle, especially when you got the city, because you're speaking truth to power, that's doing things to keep you from being housed. You see? So, you know, I've been speaking on this before the migrants actually really first got over here, you know, and they lingered our court process out because me and my wife lost employment. They lingered our problem out for a while till the migrants got over here. So we tried every rental assistance. We applied for everything. We tried to get everything, you know, and we even went down to City Hall a week before I met the people that comes down there. You know, we went down there several times and met with the office and things like that to try to get, you know, some kind of rental assistance and things like that. They told us they cut everything off. Our people can't get nothing. That's what we was told, and just like that. And
Oh
so,
boy.
come to find out, then the migrants come, they giving them everything. You know, they giving them rental assistance. They putting them in public housing. They putting them in private housing. You
Right.
know,
But
they
you're supposed to vote for that. But you're supposed to vote for that. Shut up and vote blue no matter who.
right. They giving them food stamps and things like that. When people gotta look at their situation and be for real about things. When our people been going to the public aid office, and most of the time it be our own people in that public aid office act like that money coming right out their pocket right then and there. They treat you like trash, etc. But these migrants, these other nationalities and stuff that been coming over here, they're not getting that. They getting everything hand right over to them, no problem. You don't even see them in the public aid office. So how is they issuing this money and things out? You see what I'm saying? We need to know these questions because you don't see them in the aid office. And I ain't just talking about with the Venezuelans. I'm talking about all these different nations that been coming over here. These Pakistanians, these Indian people, these Europeans from them different nations, etc. You know what I'm saying? And then another reason they want them to vote and trying to do everything possible for them to vote because most of them from Europe. Most of them coming from these other countries, even South America, out their jails and things like that, falls in line with the LGBTQRS, you know, agenda. It falls in there. That's why if a person just go back and look at them videos and you see two men standing next line to lines, 100 of them next to each other, what you think they is? They're a couple. Ain't no child there, ain't no woman there, etc. They're a couple. So they trying to cheat the vote again. Because a lot of people saying that they cheated the election and some people saying they didn't. Okay. But how do you know that if you weren't up at 4:30 in the morning watching when the numbers flipped on the screen? That's when Trump came charging out the back. I told my wife, I said, he watching that because I was up watching the whole night.
Wow.
The whole night. So see, I can defend that they cheated. Not just that, look how they did in Georgia with turning out the lights, fake flood, all them dead, like y'all mentioned, dead people can vote. You know, they did that down there too. It's people, and then people study saying, oh, it didn't happen, it don't happen. But it was hundreds of people that was going to jail for voter fraud.
Yep.
If it ain't no if it want a fraudulent election, why you got all this voter fraud? We got to learn how to ask the questions, look, and really pay attention to what's going on, and we're not. And that's why they're able to do the things they doing.
Wow.
Good point.
I agree. And one of you said earlier, voting with emotion instead of looking at your personal situation. How can we, even though it's habit, I think you said it's habit and emotion, but how can you're struggling now, and again, you're living there in Chicago, you need assistance, you're an American who's paying taxes, and you can't get assistance. And I've talked to a lot of people across America, and this is going on everywhere. And then people who aren't citizens come and get the red carpet treatment. Now, maybe I'm slow a little bit. Maybe I don't have more than 2 brain cells. Someone on this panel, please tell me where an American can go and get the red carpet rolled out for them, and they can get all kinds of thousands of dollars per month in free services by entering the country illegally. I'll wait.
Well, we already know the answer to that. And the answer to that is nowhere. Okay? Right. We already know the answer to that. But it's so many different layers to this. There's so many different layers to it. If you look at the Democratic Party and you look at some of the things that they are waving in front of Black people's faces, just dangling in front of our faces like a carrot, is this thing of housing, right? They
Right.
continuously push this issue of affordable housing, low income housing, subsidized housing. All of those things really are there to stifle your growth as a person. They're there to muzzle you, to keep you from having full authority over your life. It's there to take motivation from you, because the topic that's continuously overlooked in the housing conversation, and intentionally by the Democratic Party, is the issue of property ownership, home ownership. Because you can pass home ownership down to your next generation. That creates generational wealth. You cannot pass down low income, vouchers, Section 8. You can't pass that down. So they intentionally keep that conversation off the table and infuse our community with this poverty mindset, pushing it down your throat about how you need public assistance, you know, and the Democratic Party does it all under the facade of social justice. And then tell you that the Republicans are racist because they're telling you that you need to engage in free enterprise. You need to engage in capitalism. You need to engage in the concept of less government. Brandon Johnson is talking about making city-owned grocery stores.
Ms. Jackson, will you please run for president?
No, because
I try to get Miss Jackson. I try to get Miss Jackson to run. That's why.
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.
I put Miss Jackson out there. I put Miss Jackson out there on my TikTok page for those that follow me. You know, and I kept putting it out there, and I kept talking to her about these things. You know, she ain't got to run for president, but damn, she'll make a great mayor. You know what I'm saying? And the people,
I'm not going to do any of that. I'm not going to do any of that because first of all,
the people get behind.
I already had a career, and I'm retired, and I'm enjoying my retirement. Second of all, that's right. Second of all, I don't want to be beholden to any group, any organization. I want to remain just the way I am.
Clean. That's because right.
Once you start getting paid for things and start being part of things, that's how your growth gets stifled. And that's a big part of the problem that we're having with our Black politicians right now. The fact that they are scared to death to challenge white people. And that's where it is now. You have to be able to challenge them. And that's our problem right now. It's not lack of position. It's not lack of, to a certain extent, knowledge to a certain extent. But the biggest problem is the fear. The fact that I think this, Phil Scott from the African Diaspora?
Yes.
He says it's two things Black people in power cannot do. Number one, they cannot punish white people. And number two, they cannot help Black people. Now that's just the truth. That's the truth.
Miss Jackson.
And that's what we're living out right now in real time. Or as Tyrone Muhammad said on one of his podcasts one day, he said, the reality is this. He said, where we are right now, he said, the politicians that's in office, the Black politicians that's in office, he said, they're not even equipped to help us out of this. They don't even know how to help us out of this. And that brings on the issue, let's say, with my situation with my mother's estate and the aldermen that are working with me on this. I've had to tell them in the last week, I've had to ask them, number one, to their face, you scared of white people?
Your boy, you still there?
Right. Is that the reason why you're not moving the way we need to move in this right now? Are you scared of white folks? And of course, no, okay, well, chop, chop.
Chop, chop.
Chop, chop. Because that's where it is now. We're not going to get anywhere right now if we are scared to challenge them. That's what I like about Sims being down there. That's what I like about Michael being down there, because they do come with that energy. They come with that energy, and it's that raw male energy. And they come with that, and because that's something that we as women don't have. We can only go so far with it without us looking what's the word, y'all? Out of place, or to the point where we really can't back it up. The reality is, if something jump off physically, we are not able to back it up for real. So you need male energy there. And I will say that Sims and Michael being there, it presents to City Hall sometime what actually needs to be presented. And that is a spirit of, we are not fearful of an establishment. We understand that we have to challenge the establishment. And
but it's not only it shouldn't be so much always a challenge. But that's how it comes across to them. But it's addressing the issue directly, and they don't appreciate that. Coming from a Black American man, no, they can't appreciate that. And and when Blake Moore get up there and speak, for me, it's this. I noticed the contrast, and I seen how he kept pushing Trump. This Democratic Party, it's evil here. He said all these little nuance, all these little things he trying to point out, but it comes across in such a way you'll be like, what? Evil here, 69 and one part. What does he talk? But as you start to pay attention, you start to really recognize, like, wait, this is how it works in here. These people literally agree amongst themselves to do the constituents wrong. And let's get the housing. Like, so Cjo Lopez, and also to that challenge part, Jessica, Cjo Lopez, when Tyler Farrell and the other 11 older people challenged him in the face of, you have committed a crime against America, really, and burning that flag and sensationalizing that moment and standing in front of that burnt flag as a representative in Chicago automatically disqualifies you to represent the people.
That's right.
But as you find out, as you go further down, then it's more that unravels before you. However, at this moment, what I'm recognizing is this: hey man, you keep saying that you didn't see the flag. How could you not see the flag? Are you so accustomed to not recognizing the red, white, and blue that you couldn't? And I'm talking about, it was right there before you. It's still smoldering. And you saying, I didn't recognize that. But we supposed to take this in as Americans. And then you send all these people down, you bring all these people down here dressed up in uniforms. Some of them got service accommodations on their uniforms. But y'all speaking towards y'all heritage and not towards y'all allegiance to the flag. All these things that Cjo Lopez has been allowed to just get away with. Now that I recognize, simply because you are the mayor's guy, or was. We got to unravel that too.
Okay.
But you're the head of housing.
Yeah.
I've looked here, and I read this in front of the city council. These grievances, all these numbers, so that they have the numbers, so that it's documented. You have the numbers. Y'all have my complaint with numbers and documentation. My HMIS number is 355061. I got it by heart now. The HMIS is the Homeless Management Information System. Now, I'm homeless. I'm sitting inside a good friend of mine's home. Well, yes, basically.
Right.
And I've been homeless now since, this reads July 15, 2021. Oh, when did the migrants start entering into Chicago?
In 2022.
I'm sure that because there's a headline that reads that immigrants have come for the last 2 years and settled, or have settled in Chicago, 47,000 But the Gomez family was able to accomplish home ownership in 2 years. There are people in the Austin area that have been trying to accomplish that for 30, 40 years, 50 years. And you telling me that these people are able to come over. There's people in Chicago, Americans all around the country that have been trying to accomplish home ownership. And you telling me that these people were able to come here and get it in 2 years? The Gomez family, I would say that that's one gargantuan accomplishment, especially coming into a new country, no resources, no means, no nothing, and you were able to acquire home ownership. However, I'm 44 years in this country, 44 years in the city, have not left, and I can't even get housing. I couldn't even get shelter, adequate shelter, let's say that.
Wow.
Versus these people getting shelters built up from the ground up off tax dollars. I'm 44 years in this country. Remember, I have not left the city. So the tax dollars that I put into my Social Security and all that have been paid out to other individuals while I'm left to the wayside. How?
But you're supposed to run out and still vote blue no matter who.
Oh, hey, historically, we was caught up in that whole stick. Look, historically, we've been caught up in that. And then they marched Obama out. Obama coming out just now enraged me more because now, as 44 years old, I realized they pulled the smoothest sleight of hand trick on us as Black Americans. They pulled the smoothest sleight of hand trick on us and putting this person before us, a mirage out of all the mirages. And I'm talking about got over, and it was in representation. That's why I quote say that. They effortlessly do us in the representation though. In the form of representation, they come before us, representing us straight into a whole. And we looking at we so caught up because historically this is how we've been told. I'm not I'm not discouraged in the fact that now I realize this. I'm empowered.
That's right. I'm
not crazy. Look, historically, this is what my people have, and trust me, I'm a Black American. I'm black. Like I don't know how to say it any other way. And I try to tell those people when we're in this room. That's why when they kept saying African American in that room, I just got upset and said, stop saying that. We are Black Americans. My child is African American. My child is Nigerian, and I'm Black American. His mom is Black American and Nigerian. Child is Black American, but the child is Nigerian also. So that's an African American.
Right.
You see, that's inherent. That's in that way. I distinguish myself. I'm American. However, my counterparts are white here, and I'm the Black American. And people want to argue that, and they want to be up in arms about that. Be up in the call us how you want to call us, but just know that we've been disrespected. Know that we've been misrepresented, and know that they're trying to whittle us out of the city here in Chicago. The Democratic Party is at the forefront of it. Now that when you actually look into the midst of it, this lady, what's her name? The white hair woman at the commissioner, the head of commission. What's her name? She a Black woman, but she looked like a white woman. What's her name? Tony Prewinkle.
Oh, Tony Prewinkle, the Cook County board president.
Remember, I went down there with Zoe, and she can attest to this. We went down there to speak our piece. They wouldn't even let her speak. They wouldn't even let her speak. And then when she did they let you speak that day, Zoe?
Zoe got off the line.
Oh,
she had that thing in Harvey.
They wouldn't even let her speak. And then when I got up there to speak, they didn't know me then. So when I got up there to address, they was like, oh man, how did this person get in? Because it's unbelievable the things that Black Americans are suffering under this administration right now. And it's being implemented, it's being manufactured. This is not by chance. Nothing that's happening.
This is planned.
Nothing that's happening in the city of Chicago right now is this paper right here would blow the Democratic administration here in Chicago out of the water. Just what does a Black American here in Chicago, a 44-year-old, homeless, unemployed, Black American male have in common with a billionaire ex-president? The fact that there's been multiple assassination attempts, the fact that they have used the judicial system to every end, and the fact that they've taken my children, to criminalize my name, to demonize my name at any end. And I went before my city council, before the city government, before the OIG. Every room we've been set in, I've heard Jessica's complaint. I've heard Zoe's. I've heard Michael Bay Moore's. Everybody's grievance. I've heard it over and over, to the point that I can almost say numbers. But has there been any result from the city council here in this administration? No, because and you know what we get called? Fascist, Republican. What they call you, Republican? What they call you, Jessica? Like
we get political. That I get a political stipend.
Oh yeah, you're being paid. They say
listen,
too.
Listen, I'm homeless. I sleep in a building that's nearly vacant because they took the copper pipes out of it. And I'm only afforded this from a good friend of mine because she see my situation. Nobody's gonna compensate her. Nobody's gonna say to her, Miss Gorham, we see that you've aided your friend as we attacked him, as we set this personal attack on him using our city government, even using your tax dollars, because it's got to take the tax dollars to fund this personal attack that they've set out on not just me, I believe, but on Jessica, on Zoe, on Michael Bay, on Young Bay. Anybody who had the audacity to speak out against this administration, it's a hit. And not even only on us. Larry Snelling is on their hit list. What's his name? The one who won the CTA. Mr. Dorvell Carter is on their hit list. Wow. Anybody that's not aligned with what they working on in their personal interest circle, it's a hit for you. It will be a hit for you, and trust me, they're gonna get you by every means, blackball you, pressure you, or they're gonna murder you. And that's the full-on truth of it.
Right. But you know
and
what?
I think that's what we've been having the protection of is, I look at each individual coming down there and things like that. And for the record, I still gonna stand on that because I know who I am,
Right.
But I understand people saying they the black American and the black this and the black that and the black this. But if you really look at it, it's the people that's calling move back, baby. It's the people that's calling themselves black that's doing these things to us. They doing
people in the back.
Without question, I'm not questioning that. Without question, I understand that.
People that's calling. Let me get the floor, please, because I listen to everybody. It's the people that's calling themselves black that's doing this to us. And I know this personally. It's people that's seriously trying not to get us housing. We can't go to a shelter. You see what I'm saying? Because of the nonsense that's going on. And it's our people that running the shelters. We can't get housing. It's our people that's sitting behind them seats that's controlling housing. That low paid guy, he may be over there committing things like that, but they're actually running these agencies, Bring Chicago Home, All Chicago, ambassadors for families and children, all these, and I got emails and everything that proves everything. There's literally keeping us from getting housed, and we supposed to been housed on the 1st. Then they moved it to the 5th. Then they moved to the 7th, and we ain't heard nothing else from them people. But we was promised housing. You see, other nationalities ain't going through that. Other nationalities ain't fearing black.
Nope.
They could be a mass shooting downtown. If they see it's black people shooting at each other, they not gonna even run. Because that word black, people can say what they want to say because I don't appreciate that. And see, all these other nations of people, they tell you what nationality they is. All these people, they don't say they white Americans, they say they Irish, they German, they etc. As a man speaking, so it is. So we speaking certain things into existence by the words we use. If Because I take it personally because jabs been thrown at me even downtown. Jabs been thrown at me even with the people that's supposed to be on the battlefield. I'm taking the bullets more than anybody because everybody can go somewhere and lay in their home. I can't. Me and my family, I got a daughter and a wife. We can't. You know, so I'm taking the gunshot from somewhere everywhere. As you stated, oh, you got a friend where you can go get housed at. I don't. We don't. We out here on our own. And then we got the city that's attacking us. We got these different agencies that's attacking us, etc. You know, but until we stop looking down or sideways at each other and know what true unity is, no matter what you calling yourself or whatever, because they're not looking at that. They just look. They don't care whether you call yourself Black, Hebrew, Israelite, Moorish American, this, that, walk the thing. They looking at still your skin complexion. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm subject to the same treatment as anybody else on here because of my skin complexion. Ain't nobody came to you publicly and asked you, hey, what race or nationality you identify yourself at. No, they just do it to you. And we keep on passing on that same hatred. Because that's all it is. If it ain't love, it's hate. It ain't nothing in between. Until our people realize that, then we continue to be subject to the mistreatment and the misuses of this government.
Okay. Mr. Moore, Real News. So I wanted to address Miss Jessica Jackson. She said something earlier, and I wanted to address that. So you were talking earlier about the people who are in positions to help. Miss Prosperity and myself, we've talked about this. So we mentioned it earlier, but we've been, as Black Americans, we're always taught, see Black, vote Black. We're all told that, right? So you talked about these people who are in positions. You and I think Mr. Sims or Mr. More Real News. I'm not sure who said it, but I just wanted to say, I want to know what your take is on, the puppets, the Black preachers, the Al Sharptons, the Congressional Black Caucus, the NAACP, all of these people who are in positions to do something, but they don't. They're just there. And I feel what you said earlier, they're used to hold us down. All these Black celebrities, I've said it plenty of times on my show. Why would you listen to millionaires? They're not struggling the way that we are. We're just regular, everyday Americans working, trying to make a living. So what do you think about all these people that are always placed in front of us? And like I even did a video yesterday about Obama out here, saying these things to Black men, and this is unacceptable. And he sounded like the master, and they talking to the slaves. What do you think about that?
Well, one reason why, when you hear people say we need to do like what other groups do, we need to do like what this group do and that group do, it's not applicable to us because we're not what other groups are. We don't have the same history here. So as it pertains to leadership, it goes back all the way to the plantation where master trained what we called the preacher even back then. He picked who would teach how to read certain parts of the Bible to give it to the slaves, to keep them in a certain mindset as it pertains to the relationship between a slave and a master. It's been going on since then, the dynamic between, as we say, the house Negro and the field Negro. All those things are real parts of our culture here in America as a result of the African slave trade, which created what we identify as the Black American.
Okay.
The people that we have in position in place right now, they're under those things. We have to remember that though we've been in this country hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, we've only been free from any legal situation being over us only for 60 years. 60 years, right. The Civil Rights Act was passed in 1964. Take somebody like me, I was born in 1962. So my children are the first people in my family that were born under a complete free system. So it's taking time for us to learn politics, and these people, like the people down there in City Hall, a lot of them are first generation of serving under complete freedom to serve, and a lot of them don't know how. They don't have the tools to do it. They ain't enough to do it. They've already been paid in people's pocket. These organizations like the NAACP, and they've already been picked. It's just like when we grew up, how they trained us to like Martin Luther King. Right. They trained us not to like Malcolm X.
That's right. You're right.
You see, we didn't get into welcoming the philosophy of X until sometime in the 80s. Okay. But we grew up being groomed to go along with King said, and only being taught a small portion of what he was about. We wasn't taught that he was saying that we supposed to go get our check. We wasn't taught that he later changed his philosophy about segregation and integration as, you know, he got a few years older before his assassination. Those things like that, we weren't taught that about him. So a lot of these things now, we just don't know. So now that we do know, that's what's so important about what we're doing now. Going down to City Hall, being on that mic, talking about turning red, talking about looking at the Democratic Party in a different way, pointing out the things that the Democratic Party are doing that maybe wasn't publicized before because we just see little clips on the news. Oh, we're making a difference down there. Now, it's slow coming, because look how many years and decades and hundreds of years that we're trying to undo. It would be an unrealistic expectation to think that we're going to go down there, get on that mic, we're going to tell them a thing or two, and they just going to fall into it. I mean, come on. That's an unrealistic expectation. But they see the movement. They see the movement. We see the movement. The country sees the movement because everybody's looking at Chicago right now.
Yep.
Everybody hearing us say, come on, turn red. Everybody's hearing us be coming out, not being ashamed to be Republican. Trump is just the tool that's being used right now. Right. But what we ultimately want people to get on board is to understand the difference between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. Because at the end of the day, like it or lump it, it's the only government that we have.
That's right.
It's the only government we got to work with. Now, we can be as militant as we want to be. But at the end of the day, I'm going back to what you said. Where we going to go? Where we going to go as Black people taking our grievances? Outside of Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C. Where else are we going to take our grievances to?
Right.
Pennsylvania Avenue and God. It pretty much ends there. So now we have to do what we have to do to deal with the United States government. That's what sets us apart from everybody else, because we're not running to other governments asking them to help us. We're confronting our government. When we're in City Hall, we're confronting our government. We're doing when you talk about be like the other groups, what other groups are confronting their government? They're running to ours. Mm-hmm. We're standing against ours.
That's right. That's right. Exactly.
What we have to do is we got to keep going. When they've taken us away from mainstream media with your trickerations, but you got prosperity there. You got more real news there. You got Sims there putting his stuff on Instagram. You got Blakemore going live. You got Zoe with her uncomfortable truths. It's still getting out there. It's still getting viral. It's still, the word is getting out. You can't stop God at all, no matter what you do. You cannot stop God, and we're moving. Yeah, Michael, you got a situation with your family and your housing, Sims, and it's a horrible thing. Lorraine got a situation with police and the situation with hers that she knows about. My family has owned this building for 61 years. 61 years.
Whoa.
We have been paying to property taxes for 61 years. Now imagine how I feel having to go down to City Hall, fighting for this property that was paid for when my mother gave it to us. My mother left here with all her affairs in order.
Oh, wow.
All her, the will is completely legal. Then we didn't find it in the middle of a couch, in the couch pillow. No, she had an attorney draw it up. It's notarized, signature, everything. My mother didn't have not one dime of debt when she died. She didn't owe anybody a dime.
Oh, wow.
The building has been paid for since I was 15 years old.
Oh, my goodness.
And wow. I got to go down to City Hall and listen to City Hall go on and on and on about how they're going to house some immigrants.
Woo.
So we all dealing with what we dealing with.
That's right.
Because imagine that. And while I'm still in the property, Cook County public administrators have told these tenants that they can squat on me. They ain't paid me a dime of rent since February 2023. And I'm paying the property taxes, water bills, heating bills, the kids. So don't tell me. But I understand that everybody's problem is the big problem to them.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't want to be in somebody else's shoes no more than they would want me in theirs. But at the end of the day, what we all can agree on is that there is no local help for us. Everywhere we go, like how Blakemore says, it's like a communist situation where everybody is Democrat. Everybody is partnering up with everybody. Everybody is on the same political stance. And we need a change in federal administration. Because if it can change at the top, then it can trickle down to the bottom.
That's right.
Then it can stop some of the bleeding.
Yes.
If nothing else, close that border.
Yes.
To protect our communities, protect some of our jobs, give us a place to go. Since we can't get no help in downtown, if we change the administration to the federal, on the federal level to a Republican, that now gives us somewhere to take our grievances. We have Trump, as a particular candidate, has had his fight with the court. With the court systems. So now this is so far-fetched then. If I take my case, if Lorraine takes her case, and we get it to Capitol Hill, will he be talking about how, oh, that's not happening, that's not true? He's not saying that because it's happening to him. And every person that we're dealing with here in our cases are Democrats. Lorraine can tell you everybody that she's contacting is Democrat. Everybody that I'm turning to is a Democrat. Every judge in my case is a Democrat. All those public administrators are Democrats. So I have no reason to go and keep voting Democrat. Nope. What we need to do is just what we're doing down there. Letting them know that we're going for the federal change. And then once that federal change happens, it will make all them on the local level some believers. They'll know, yes, we can come for those seats, and we are coming for them seats. You're not going to keep taking our money. You're not going to keep drowning us out. That's what we do know.
Oh, boy.
It starts at the top, and it's going to come on down to the bottom.
That's important for people to hear.
It's point of information is more than just they Democrats. All us on this panel, we got to pay attention, and which we have because we all done said it, but we need to put it out there. It's more than just them being Democrats. You see, Taiwan Sims, he spoke on Byron Sigcho Lopez. You know, Miss Jackson and Miss Lawrence, we went over there on 71st Street. Yeah. We heard what that man said in there, who they aligned with.
These are terrorists. Homegrown terrorists. These are homegrown terrorists.
Wait a minute. No, for sure, because one reason why Brandon Johnson is going along with the immigration thing is a lot of people saying he don't want to end up like Eric Adams and out there. No, I think it's bigger than that, like what you're saying. It's because through this immigration thing, he is able to work that agenda that he wants. Just communist, just socialist, just fascist.
That's the word. That's the word.
71st Street. Absolutely.
This tyrannical agenda. This tyrannical agenda.
Let me say this. So the public can hear, because we was all talking when I got to the meat of it. They are communism. They are communists. They are the Communist Party.
Yep.
They're not even true Democrats. They are the Communist Party. That's a communist idea of policy that they trying to push. That's why Kamala Harris ain't saying what her policies is. She even done stole and the media. And when I say the media, I'm talking about the average person that's on these YouTubes and things like that. I don't consider that other stuff the media, because they is giving a false narrative of things. But for the people, has spoken on about how Kamala Harris, and I done witnessed it in her speech and things, she trying to say talking points of Trump just to get the vote. But they don't mean it. You see what I'm saying? If they want us to have reparations, Biden and her can do that right now today with a stroke of a pen. We don't, why all these other countries or nationalities or these other groups, they don't need no study. They ain't need no study on to get these migrants housing, to get them finance, etc., education, etc. They ain't need no study on that. They just up and did it, just like that. Just like that. And most of the things they did, I say it came just like that, because if you wasn't down in your local city council, then you wouldn't even known it was happening until maybe a day or two later on the news.
No.
You see what I'm saying? So it's a communist and it's a hidden agenda to the demise and the detrimental of our people. You see, that's what our people got to realize. This is a harm that's being done to you. And a lot of our people, we out there dancing, pop locking, rapping, singing, and all these other things. And these people is putting numbers on us. So pretty soon, they ain't going to be out there dancing and pop locking and TikToking, because they ain't going to be in existence as we keep it up.
They've already been replaced. I hope they don't even realize it.
So they replaced, but the whole agenda is to replace us. And that's what they've been quietly doing. And if not for us down there, and that's why I know it's the hand of God. If not for this group of unlikely, this motley crew of individuals being down there in just this moment, as I start to go back through the timeline of like when Jessica Jackson started, when I start to see more real news come into effect, I start to realize that there's something happening here. And even that moment when you talk about the migrant guy, when he's talking about no money's for you, no more money's for you, what makes you think that you can come into somebody's country and disrespect them? I tell you what, if you were already told, if this was already an initiative, an agenda, if the higher ups didn't make you feel so comfortable.
Right.
So now we sit in these rooms, right? And we realize you get to recognize who you up against. What's that? David Rodriguez. He is the chairman of employment, or whichever way. David Rodriguez. So now then you have Byron Sigcho Lopez, the head of housing, right? Then you have, what's her name, Anna, whatever it is over there. She is human services. All these areas, they have basically made a monopoly over, so that they can institute their agenda of discrimination and of removal of a nation of people. But not only that, then we have who over immigration. We got Andre Vasquez over immigration. We got these individuals with an agenda or a likeness, all in these arenas where we deprived that. All these arenas that have now cost us $1 billion because in these arenas, all of this new arrival initiative. We sat in the finance, we sat in the immigration and housing committee meetings. All these, remember this stuff, y'all. We spoke at them. We talked about the issue about how Black Americans not getting the resources and how the resources have been in some way segued over here to this group of people. How? Oh, remember, don't forget, and no matter how we display ourselves before this committee or this city government, they're going to recognize only one thing, and that's that they feel that they can disrespect us and undermine us. They feel that they want to paint us as the villains by criminalizing us, by showing us, oh, they said, oh, what you was cussing and screaming at Irvin for is you out. So that's the only thing y'all seen. Y'all didn't see an empty room and some man trying to basically
take our freedom of speech.
What I'm talking about, totally violate our constitutional right and totally violate our civil liberty here in the city as citizens to come and voice our grievance to our committees that we elected. Oh, he had the audacity though, but then not only him, then they send the young man out because they want to get yet another rise. But only thing they got was, once again, another moment where they diminished and show us exactly what the Democratic Party doing over there, how they can pull, how it feels it can pull strings to manipulate, because they don't want us to public speak, so they want to kick us out of that sanctum. They want to pull every stunt. They want to be able to highlight every issue. They want to say, oh, you were threatening. No, the threat is y'all and y'all ability to abuse y'all authorities, y'all automatic powers to sit in these seats, to sit in these back rooms and say, oh, those Republicans are happy. Y'all don't even know what party we vote for. Y'all don't know nothing about us. Only thing y'all know is our issues. And yet y'all won't even help us with that. Y'all
and
try
don't
to
care to know our issues. Don't care to know our issues. And I want to interject, and then you can have the floor again, Taiwan, because while you mention his name, that's Jason Irvin. Now, before you one day I ain't gonna say before you came, because I'm not sure if you was down there then or not, but I know you wasn't present this particular day. But Jason Irvin denied me, Mr. Blakemore, Miss Jackson, the right to speak, violate our constitutional right, our freedom of speech. And I even got that on video, and I got it on video with me and Miss Jackson before a meeting. We were sitting downstairs. You remember Miss Jackson? And he came over to apologize to us for violating our freedom of speech. You know, because we spoke on it like where are people mind at to where we done had people die for the right to vote. No other race. We have had people die, fight, etc. for our freedom of speech. No other race. And we got our own people that take in pride in taking their rights away from us. You see?
Hello.
But see, that just goes to show that he hasn't learned, because now just last month, once again, he denied y'all freedom of speech. You see? And that's where it's at. And I speak this down on the mic. Even if you don't agree with a person, even if you don't like a person or whatever, you ain't gotta agree with them, or they ain't even gotta be telling the truth. They can be lying. But you do have the gift of speech. You do have that God gift of speech. You do have that freedom of speech. And you that should not be taken away. And that's what them the kind of things that we fight on. So people be on these YouTubes and things like that, talking on and in these chats saying whatever they saying. We actually on front line. We actually on front line. Yeah. And we got and our grievances, what we have in common locally, our grievances is what If Kamala Harris get in there, mark what I tell you. If Kamala Harris get up in there in office, our grievance, what we've been speaking on and speaking up for the people, etc., like that, they gonna F us in the game.
Not only help us, I think they're gonna arrest us. They're gonna censor us.
It don't matter how they gonna do it. They gonna F our people in the game.
Oh, that's
no, let me say this too, because I gotta set the record straight on some things. Because it's people that's speaking on my name. You see what I'm saying? It's speaking to people that speaking bad on my name, even more as Americans, because we ain't supposed to be cussing and things like that. But they not going through what I'm going through. I'm in the situation I'm in for speaking up for my daughter, for a shelter discriminated against my daughter because she had seizures, and I made a report and a human rights claim that they won't even hear my human rights claim. They won't even do a mediation because that shelter is connected with the Salvation Army that's ultimately connected to the Vatican. You see, they do things like that to a person, but I'm still standing strong and I'm still speaking and I still speak on these people's behalf down there, etc. Because I see the bigger picture. And these people that's down there with me, they see the bigger picture. Yeah, they got Miss Jackson. She real passionate about that because she telling the truth about her family stuff. You know what I'm saying? They trying to take everything from her illegally. Illegally. We talking about judges. We talking about people, they literally doing things towards a person. And we still down there speaking the breath of truth to these people.
That's what Democrats do.
Without fear.
Yeah, like they weaponize the government against you. Like Miss Prosperity, we were talking about that earlier. So far as we're talking about the tax situation. And they're trying to, those of us who are still working and paying taxes, the Biden administration hired over 70,000, I think, IRS agents to get more money, to take more of our money and give to people who aren't even Americans. Miss Prosperity, I would like for you to address this for me. So how do you, now, you must have the patience of Job.
No, I don't.
How does that, she said, no, I don't. How does that make you, as I'm sitting here listening to everything that all of you, are experiencing, how do you, as a Chicagoan, not go in there and unalive someone when you know you're being mistreated? And we've talked, and when they're trying to stifle you, like Archie Bunker would tell Edith, stifle. They're trying to stop you from talking. They don't even want to hear what you have to say.
See, look, I'm glad you brought that point up because
hey, Mike, more real news. Okay.
I've been telling them that, like, man.
Hold on.
Go ahead. Yes, ma'am. Let me mute. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Number one, it's not easy. Ooh. I do not have the patience of Job. My husband does. So I have to take some of those pointers from him because he has the patience to deal with me. So sometimes I have to stand guard and say, okay, I'm going to try this, but it's not easy.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's don't even assume that it's easy because I tell people all the time, I don't have patience. I know I don't. I'm not going to lie about it.
Right.
I have to work on patience to be able to deal with a lot of things in life. And going down there to deal with people who you see these behaviors and attitudes. Yes, it gets you moved. It's called passion. Is what I'm calling it. Others may say anger. They'll call it all other things, but it's your passion because when you're speaking out about something, you have a passion for it. You don't want it happening to you. You don't like seeing it happen to anybody else as well.
Right.
So it is very extremely difficult. When I get up there publicly speak, and that's only because I do have experience in my occupation as a professional to do that. But let me tell you, there's times where I had cut loose. I know I did. And there's no way that you can even, and let me tell you, violate an area of my life and you'll see there ain't no holding back.
Right.
Even hubby couldn't stop it.
Wow.
So that's why I say, no, you just got to work at that. It's not easy at all. And one thing about me, I ain't going to deny my faults because I know what mine are. But one thing is, I don't have patience.
Oh my goodness. But I just look at, the story. I've been, sitting here marinating on, the issues that each of you are experiencing. And I would probably go bonkers because to know that your mayor, and you, like I said, all of you are intelligent people, they could care less about what you're experiencing, but they're still, in positions of power. So I'm hoping, again, like Ms. Jackson said, start at the federal level and let it trickle down. You have to show them, right? We're not playing, and you said it. I think Ms. Jackson, or one of you said, you told them, and one of them councilmen, this is serious. We're not playing with you. And do you feel that, once we get Chicago, and now Chicago's never been red. So I'm really pulling in my lifetime, never, ever. And I told you, I did a video months ago. Chicago hasn't had a Republican mayor since 1931. Okay, so it's deep, right? But do you feel, because I had the Trump delegate on here, and she, and I asked her pointedly, and I told her to give me her honest opinion. Do you feel that Chicago's going to flip red? She said no. So,
well, that's her opinion.
Right.
That's her opinion. She can feel that way.
Right.
But here's the reality right here.
Right.
For us to go and think in one election, like you say, a city that has been blue this long, it's just going 100% turn red. Nobody's even we're not being silly. Okay. But what we are doing is number one, paving the way for that mindset. What we are doing is making people feel comfortable with the dialogue. What we are doing is setting the precedence of the threat and the reality. What we are doing is letting some Black people who traditionally were Democrat come over to the Republican side. What we are doing is bridging the gap between Black Chicagoans, white Chicagoans, and all American Chicagoans in order to do what's best for the city at large. Nobody's thinking that in one swoop, 50 aldermen are going to turn red. Nobody's thinking that in a population of let's say 20 million people here, whatever our population is, that all of them are going to turn red. But we do know that the state of Illinois is red. It's the city of Chicago that's blue. But when you go like to Springfield, me and Michael and Carter went down there. They made it clear they're red. Down there, it's Chicago that's blue. So we're working on opening that door. So you have to start somewhere. So when we hear comments like that, the naysayers, you just push them to the side. Like the Apostle Paul say, lay aside every weight.
There it is.
And push towards the higher calling. We got business to take care of. We got problems to solve, lives to live, families to save, communities to deal with. We don't have time for people who want to set little seeds of doubt. If she's a delegate, then she needs to be getting in touch with us and seeing how she can support us, not telling us about what we can't do.
Right. Because if she a delegate, she should be speaking even as of hope, saying that it can happen. You see what I'm saying? Because for the record, because I see us down there as a team. We're individuals, but we're individuals, but I consider us a team. We're not connected to no organizations or saying we are organizations. Let me say that. We're not saying we're an organization. We're individuals speaking on different fronts and a common cause for what we know that our people need in order to succeed. You see, so to put credit out on our team, Zoe was the first one to say, "Flip this red."
Oh,
And
wow.
everybody else, after a couple of months of us putting videos out, to Taiwan see him coming down there to the fold of things, you know, and he got a lot of attention off my videos, you know, and by them saying that and Zoe putting it out there first, because people keep saying, "Oh, they the first, I'm the first, I'm the first, I'm the first." Zoe was the first one to say that, you know, right down there in that city hall, you know, and she the one that put forth that seed. See, we just trying to plant the seed. We know everybody ain't gonna change.
That's true.
We know it's gonna be some hard headed. That's why different one of us. I don't know who it was. I forgot. I failed to recall. Should I say? I ain't forget nothing because they'll come back to me. But stated how people ain't want to leave Miss Jackson. Matter of fact, he had came to me and say how people ain't want to leave slavery. Oh, is that so? Is this? We got a lot of people that got to be. We got to understand when we go to the polls here in Chicago, and I've been saying this as a child because I done stood in line with relatives while they go vote, etc. So I done seen this as a child. You have people out there, oh, vote Democrat. They got their flyers, put this on there, put that on. Our people been conditioned, just like slavery. That's why we have the problems we have because of the conditions, the mental conditions. You see what I'm saying? So our people, we know everybody ain't gonna flip red, but damn it, we trying to turn it pink.
That's excellent.
So let me.
I like that.
Can I stay away from that, Mike? Into a conversation me and Prosperity was having earlier. So it is about that, and no matter if it's a delegate, no matter if it's just one of the in a person in passing, for them to try to attempt to set that seed of doubt lets me know that it's working. It should allow y'all to know that it's working. What happens when we go into those committee meetings and they try to disrupt or cause a disruption should allow y'all to know that it's working. And if they speaking from a delegate standpoint, then that means that they recognize it. It's already before them. So I don't need to be in a room with her for her to conversate about us or to know that we already have the momentum. We already came through the door. We already there. Look, these people in that that party, that administrative party, that party of people down there, that body of people, that Democratic brand, whatever it is. Look, those people have sunk their own boat and showing. Look, it's showing that discriminatory practice. Look, it's over with. So now what they're trying to do is salvage anything and every part of this boat. This is what they're trying to do. It's no more. It's not afloat anymore. Right now, they've all jumped ship and they all getting into these little boats. That's why you see Brandon now having rifts with everybody in that little sanctum. Now you see a whole group of people jump ship. You tell me that the school board just out of nowhere just said, "Hey, we're all just gonna say it." No, after we brought this guy up, after we brought him up as our reigning whatever it is champion, tricked all of us into this. But we went because you know what? These are educated people. They're critical thinkers. They're sound thinkers. We can believe on them. We can trust on them. And that's what we did. We looked at Vallis and they ran Vallis' name into the dirt. However, Vallis has he has, let's say, qualifications. Whereas where did Brandon Johnson come from? And I ain't saying it because all of this, he a Black American and all this. Yeah, you're a Black American, but you're a Black American with a different type of agenda, buddy. And you showing us that in every step.
The Democrat agenda.
And look, soon as Kamala came out, you seen how he jumped on that? Yeah, you know, I'm voting with. What are you talking about, dude? Yep. Oh, because you're doing a DNC, because you got to ride a coattail or something. You're gonna ride. You literally finna try to trick us into making a horrible decision because and you sit in a place in the seat of leadership. So you know you're wrong. This man set up there the other day as he was kicking me out. He was like, You know, he tried to do it in subtle ways. He tried to do it in the subtle ways. You see, every time he kicked us out, because he know it's going to go down. He know it's going to go down. Instead of protecting the citizen, so they come out with the little, what's called it, like the valet gas. This is how they play their moves. The room already know what's going on, except for we don't know what's going on behind the room. We're the boobs back there. The people who elected these people in, we're the stooges back there. We're the clowns, supposedly, in the theater. You see? So now Valayez come out. They go through the little one motion. Hey, call him up. Then call Valayez up with the bad news. But he want to give it to us in a good way. You know, hey, we had this set up today for 2 o'clock. You know, the meeting. This after we discussing it. Prosperity then discussed it with us and already quietly told us, hey, this meeting finna be cut off.
Oh,
yeah.
Look, because they want us to not freak out. You ain't see how Starks came out of just all of this just so happened to be setting up in front of us. Right. Y'all didn't see how Starks came out. Y'all didn't see how all of this just so happened to be setting up in front of us, and how he trying to bring order. Oh, and if you but dude, you just came out and trying to adjourn this meeting and say, oh well, the CTU will see y'all on the 18th. Y'all forgot that we civilians. Y'all forgot that we have jobs and lives. Y'all forget that we had to order our days around this. Y'all forget that we come out to do our civic duty. So we should have no regard. It's from our mayor, and looking out at a bunch of black people too. I guess them red shirts threw them off. That Chicago red is killing them.
Go red.
It's killing them. It's killing them.
It's
killing them.
Go red.
When they look out there and they see that red, they know it's on. They know the smoke. And then I know they showed them names. They like Jessica Jackson. They like, wait. they know. And I came in on live. I was on live. I was like, yeah, we came in with the smoke. We got smoke because it's already fire. We got smoke. You already burnt it to the floor. We just gonna look. Only thing we finna do is air it all out. Let the people really know what's happening though, because they get the soft comments in the morning because they have set up an agenda so that we won't get in those microphones so much. So they have 50, 40, 60, 80 people down there against 5 people.
Oh, wow.
Hold on.
So y'all don't want to, you telling me y'all it's that important to keep these people that y'all got busloads. Joe Lopez had busloads and still couldn't achieve that.
Exactly.
Because God working in there.
So going back to the red shirts. Let's talk about that, Taiwan.
Oh, wait. This is so when I first met Prosperity, right? I met all y'all. Remember how I come through the door, y'all. Like Mike said, I just come into the fold. I come here to film. I got it from Michael Bay Moore, the More Real News. I'm seeing seeing what's going on, and I came down there. I didn't know that this was going on. You come through the door, and your zeal was kind of throwing me. I'm like, wait, what's up with this lady? She was like, it was all about the red. And I'm like, is she something? I'm like, is she like hired to do, like, is she a Republican, like hires? But as time go on, you start to realize, no, this is a person with a grievance.
Right.
But so much so now the grievance then changed her whole way of thinking. Like she understands something, but then she came through with the shirt. She was like, "Put the shirt on." Remember when she came and gave us those shirts?
Yeah.
Man,
that's the day. That's that $70 million vote day.
Yeah, look,
and we had on 70 million worth of red.
Look, I was so reluctant to put the shirt on because of how she was acting. She was like, "Put the shirt on." She came to me and presented the shirt. She was like, "Here's the shirt." I was like, she called. She was like, "Are you coming to the city council?" She's like, "I have a shirt for you." I'm like, "What shirt?" In my mind, I'm like, "What type of shirt you got? What's going on?" So then she came with the shirt. She was like, "I have this shirt." So I took the shirt. I go in the wash. I got a video of me putting the shirt on and everything. I'm talking about got the shirt on. I'm gonna put the video up too. Put the just the remembrance of what took place. And it's like, and then I was thinking to myself, is this some type of ploy? What is with this shirt? What is, because now I'm not understanding how important this is to Prosperity and how she really is seeing the potential of people waking up or people understanding how detrimental this is, this vote. I didn't understand that then, Prosperity. I'm telling you, that's why I took the shirt off, folded it neatly, kept it with me. You know, I'm still pushing. Look, because, and trust me, now that I realize, you see, that's why I come in with some red on every time now, because I want these people to understand this is the movement. This is not just a movement. It's a it's necessary right now. And I'm not trying to influence anybody's vote. When I go down and I speak, I'm simply speaking to the issues directly. And I know that this paper right here, just this paper, just these grievances can blow them out of the water. It will dismantle our whole city government to understand that they have been pursuing a civilian. And who else can we say? It's a Democratic-led party. This is y'all agenda. Y'all agenda has been against this nation of people. So when we come out and say Black Americans and speak directly to what these issues that's happening with Black Americans here in Chicago, that's tearing them up. They don't know what to do.
So yeah, I like to interject on that day with bringing those shirts, those red shirts up in there. See, before the red shirts became a thing, it was a spiritual guidance. To take that time and sit up and make all those shirts with a little variation of each one of those shirts. The purpose of that was for when we go down there, we keep hearing nothing's moving with that man. That man shows no emotions. That man don't care. That man don't whatever. I said, let these red shirts come on up in here. We gonna see what that man gonna do. Good and well, we only had a few speakers that day, Jessica being one of them. I didn't get selected on the lottery. Fine.
I think P-Ray did.
Yep. And the shirts are still talking without literally saying a word. Oh, wow. Because how do we know we impacted that man up there on his little stadium or his little what you want to call it, pool pit or something? His podium. Got my husband over here directing me. So he asked the security put whole 2 rows out of the place, and the whole 2 rows were the ones with the red shirts.
Oh wow!
So you know he was bothered. Ooh. We didn't have to yell and scream or do anything. He was already annoyed. He kept looking. See, and one of the things in my occupation is to be observant. Watch. And the Bible talks about being vigilant. Right. Watch a person. And I saw him constantly just twitching and just trying to overcome his, like the bull with the red, literally set that man off. Oh, wow. And I said, job accomplished. Hello. There it is. So now going back to going down there to City Hall, and a lot of the comments that I might receive on my channel, things that I hear about is that they don't care, y'all wasting your time. And I said, no, this is not about them. This is about y'all. Seeing what is going on and knowing that we have to make a move. You can't keep sitting back and doing nothing about this. That's why we had this opportunity of going to the polls. No, everybody's voice is not going to be heard verbally, but in action, it will be heard. Once you place that vote out there and say, hey, I'm no longer taking this. I'm no longer settling for this. And even if you don't vote, like I said earlier, don't hit the Democratic button. Right. I'm going to tell you what's on that list. Because when you don't vote Democratic, you're voting for it anyway. Okay. That's right. So we good with that as well. So here's what's going on. They have 3 questions that's on that ballot. One is about poll watching. Another one is about the vitro fertilization. And then there was one third question that was on there. Well, I'm gonna tell you, I did no. It was about tax the rich over $1 million, 3% on their taxes. Well, we know they already have loopholes. They got everything to get out of it. So this is just their way to incur more taxes. Because they tried it before with Governor Pritzker.
That's right.
Now they have maybe about 6 on that ballot that are Republicans. At this point,
I don't give a crap what you are if you ain't nothing but a Republican. Republican down the line. Then you got all of these judges. Every last one of them Democrat. Hell no. I mean, excuse me, but no. I ain't selecting one of you. No. Because see, if you all are on that party that is a corrupt party, you're going to do the same thing to us over and over again. Facts. So I'm not giving you my support. So it's a no. 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 But when you see us up on that mic, and those who are not on the mic that is down there, trust and believe we're giving the support of those who are on the mic. Okay. They got an opportunity with Prosperity and Crew. We stand together on a common cause because we want to change this place. We want to change all over America. And just like what was stated earlier, the whole world is watching. You know how I know that? Because I'm even seeing the statistics where the things that I'm posting, which I'm quite sure everyone else is posting, is going into all other countries. So it's being seen. And here's another thing for you poll watchers that want to believe that, oh, Kamala is beating Trump or Kamala is matching with Trump. Okay, so they show Chicago as that deep blue. You don't see Chicago showing deep blue anymore. It's lightening up. Good. We making a turn.
Chicago gonna be red.
So it's turning. And that blue is gonna go purple. Okay. And then purple is gonna go red. So we speak these things into existence. So for the naysayers that I even tell on my channel, y'all can go meet another channel because I'm not that one. I will clap back. I'm not taking it. That's right. Because see, one thing that you cannot do is keep listening in your ear gate and seeing with your eye gate the things that's going to deter you from reaching your goal. That's true. I can give you a story about a toad. And the one reason why the toad won the race is because the toad was deaf. Couldn't hear, saying, you can't do it. You can't make it. It's impossible. All of these things that when a person continues to hear it, they start to believe it. That's true. I can't do that. I'm that wrong person to do that. When I say I don't have no patience, I slap that down real quick. Yeah. I do not have patience for someone deterring me on my path. I'm going to reach my goal, whether they like it or not. And I don't care. I just don't care about the likes or not, because I got to do what I got to do. Now, you don't have to like me. You can respect my movement. You can respect my activity. You can respect my actions for getting the job done. And that's what Trump is doing. He's getting the job done. Yep. And you don't have to like that he made a motion or a statement or this or that. Look at the works. Look at the works that are going in. Because a lot of people are suffering now, wishing they hadn't made the move to vote them out. Got that right.
Look.
Exactly. So, and it's like, you don't miss it until your well run dry. Facts. Don't need to let those wells run dry. That's right. But the problem is that people want to go against this thing about, I don't like how he talks. I don't like how he looks. I don't care. I don't like he's white. I don't like that he's this. Look, y'all, you need to like, nobody like Jesus either. Policy. But did Jesus not accomplish the goal that God sent him down here to accomplish? He did.
That's right.
That's what I'm saying. So if we got to look at this, and I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to share this with you all. And I shared this with few people, but I'm going to share this with the world. Yes. My family already knows this. Several months back, I was sitting on the couch, and that's when I got a message from the Holy Spirit that Trump is going to win. I'm saying this. And the reason why I'm saying this, because look at everything that has happened to him, and they can't touch him. Nope. And therefore, when people kept saying, oh, this happened to Trump, that happened to Trump, and I said, I ain't worrying about it because God got him. See, you plead the blood of Jesus. You plead the blood over a life.
Got the #1 gifters badge. Thank you.
So everything that has been happening.
Thank you.
Just like there's no comparison with him and Jesus Christ. My point is that God takes the foolish things
There's
of
a
the
heart
world
if you
to confound
coming
the
in. Let's
wise,
push
and
this. I
will
want
use a
this
person
voice to be heard.
to
Let's
do
push
the
that.
works that he has planned for them. So that's why I stand on this. When I hear all of this negativity, shut it down. Because I'm going to tell you, I will bust my tail off for someone. I will get on the front line for you. I would do all these things. But one thing I'm not going to do is listen to you back talk and all this other crap when you ain't standing out there with
hearts up. Let's get those hearts up.
Let's get the steps moving on what we supposed to do. Everybody know what they're supposed to do. They're led. You are led. Everyone has a spirit of the Holy Spirit. You got that, one or the other, because you wouldn't be breathing, talking, or doing anything today.
Mm-hmm.
The point is doing what is right. You don't have to like it. Nobody likes the truth a lot, because the truth does hurt.
It does.
But it's time that you gotta wake up to the truth, and the truth will set you free.
Miss Prosperity. So
yes,
with that was excellent commentary. So we also, what I've gathered from listening to that, you're one of the reasons that Mayor Brandon Johnson wound up in the hospital with panic attacks.
Man, recently?
Hey,
I don't know about recently.
Hey, when y'all kept showing him all that red and he just lost it.
And he's losing it almost every time now.
Listen.
Almost every time.
Keep
but
it up.
Just like Miss Prosperity, Miss Lauren said, you know what I'm saying? It is they feel the truth. They ain't got no courage enough for the truth.
Say that.
You see, I'm gonna point something out to everybody because I haven't put the video out, but I'm going to. At the end of the last city council meeting, him and another alderman got into it, and they was having words back and forth. And the news that's all they can say because they can't hear what they actually saying. But the view, we know how the cameras are on the side, so they getting a certain view of the mayor, to the public and putting out there that they got into it. But see, he wouldn't have stand on our necks to keep us from speaking. You see, he wouldn't have stand on our necks to keep us from getting our issues as far as housing and things resolved. He's not trying to bring about no resolution for the people, for the city of Chicago, for the city of Chicago as a whole. So the video that I have, man, how that alderman was talking to him, and he's a Latino, as they say, or Hispanic, whatever the term he may want to use. But Alderman Gilbert. And the mayor, he's so like he in fear. He down, look like he ain't even got no neck. Cause I'm getting the sad view, I captured it before the news people because they was already setting up their stuff. But I was actually looking at them from the start, and I seen the hand gestures and things. I say, oh, they having some words. And it's like Mayor Johnson shrunk for the other race of people. You see, and that's why it was so easier for them to shrink, and the rest of them aldermen that's of our FDR nationality to shrink for these other groups of people, but they can't stand strong and up firm for their own because it's a fear. It's a fear of the truth. It's a fear of loving your own people, etc. Because if you had a love for your own people, you would say, no, well, if we're gonna give them this amount of money, we got to give our people this amount of money for services. You see, we're not extended the same equal hand as other nationalities. That's why it's a struggle. That's why it's a fight. That's why we getting it out the mud however we can get it, no matter how we can get it. You see, because we're not given those opportunities. And it's our people that's holding us back because they fearing the man or whatever a person may want to say, the Umadi or whomever they want. Our people is fearing. And they, but they ain't got a fear towards each other or harming each other. So whether it's harm for us on the street towards each other or harm for us in the political realm towards each other, it's a constant harm done towards our people.
Thank you. Put them hearts up, Warren.
So for me, is this when you think about this, the fear, it's not so much a fear. It's just, I think that it's a sort of like image that's being portrayed that we have a fear or whatnot, and that's the image that they want to show. Just like they bringing up this whole migrant gangs in Chicago and Black American gangs, Black Americans clashing with the immigrants. This is in the news. This was after the Bob Avekian thing, right? After Miss Doris Lewis. So the news then goes so far as to air Black Americans against immigrants. But they try to mask it as gangs. So they try to bring it up like the gangs fighting against those Venezuelan gangs. However, that's been debunked. So we have to look at what's really being worked out. And then for you to, I'm glad you brought that up, the Gilbert and Johnson thing. These people have been aligned with each other. It's all coming apart though. When now the ship is coming apart right before us in real time. And what's instituted what started this destruction is the fact that they have had no regard for Black Americans. Their next move was to get Brandon Johnson in there and then smoothly eradicate us out of the city through representation. Now, and if y'all look at every area, look at all the areas: finance, education, public safety, the whole public. Let's use public safety as a landing spot. So, shot spotter. We go into this debt. They've been discussing this. The mayor ran on a promise to get rid of it. Why? A Black American here in Chicago, knowing all of the violence and everything, knowing the detriment, knowing that we need every tool to combat what's going on in our neighborhoods, because they done brought them down to that. They're not communities, they're just neighborhoods. We need everything, but you ran on a promise to decommission this, right? You have a EPT superintendent in Larry Snelling that came through. Now they have tried every angle to work Larry Snelling with. They saying that the crime rate is rising, all these different things, right? But this not under my watch. He's saying, I just got in here. They give him an assignment out of this world though, because that's what the DNC was for him, an assignment. And there's a lot of people pushing and kicking against him. But for him to go out and execute that, while the whole time ShotSpotter has been on the table in the conversation in the CCPSA and all these different areas. But for Brandon Johnson to still, even after the city council veto his thought and bring ShotSpotter, keep ShotSpotter commissioned, you still had to show your authority and have it decommissioned on the 22nd of September. Why? You had a Black American man, and trust me, Silverstein, Lawson, when Larry Snelling came in that sanctum, they grilled them. They were so worried about the Jewish American stores and properties over there. They talked about that. That's when got that when he was talking about the razor blades in the they had put the razor blades behind the signs, and there was malicious wording going all around their communities and the Jewish community. Why was that
Swastniks in the Ziploc bags?
Yeah, why was that being allowed? Why was that being allowed? So they addressed that and even wrote up some legislation for that immediately. However, Larry Snelling executed what can only be counted as one of the most tactical. It was one of the most tactical events in this year, executed in a major city here in Chicago. And I promise you, I got the recorders, I got videos. I can show y'all the crowd. I'm walking directly in the crowd. I'm walking in the midst of where they walking. The man is on the front line.
That's
Larry
right.
Snelling walked on the front line. He didn't walk him and the Gold Stars walked on the front line.
We was right there. That's right. Yeah.
Every day he did this though. He didn't do it one day just to come out and be a show of force. The dude did it every day. They could have, and it got thicker and thicker and thicker. You got agitators out there. You got so much working against him, and he execute that, and y'all still take ShotSpotter after he give you his professional consideration towards it. Not for the fact that y'all done muddled it in all these words saying that, oh, when we first bought it, it's supposed to have stopped crime. What are you talking about? How does a tool stop
something. How does a tool? So you're telling me that tool has the capability to have foresight, the capability to critically think? No, the tool helps the officers and the community, but they just totally. No, they don't speak to that. They said, "Oh, well, when we first got it commissioned, it was supposed." They said that they was going to get more arrests and stop. What are you talking about? And so it shows you the lack of consideration for the citizens. And this Johnson and the Democrats, and I gotta say it like that, Johnson and the Democrats, and I didn't even know it. Soon as that lady started running, he started pom-pomming for her immediately.
So if I can interrupt, Ms. Roland, does your audience have any questions for us?
Yeah, let's see. So chat section, if you have any questions that you would like to be addressed, please type those. And they may have typed some. I may have missed them because it's coming fast and furiously. Christo Gio, thank you for the super chat. Christo Gio said this stream is cooking. Oh my God, there are so many comments. But yeah, so if you have any questions, go ahead and type those now, please, folks. I didn't mean to keep these wonderful Chicagoans so long, but this conversation has been so good and so enlightening. Let me see.
Well, while we're waiting on the questions to come in, you know, I just want to make the quick point of, first of all, I appreciate you doing this show, because it's giving us an opportunity to get a lot of things out, because it's hard for people to get a real perspective of what's going on just by catching 3-minute shots. Yeah, so I appreciate that. And while we have the ear of your audience, I want to say this. One comment that you hear all the time from people is, that's what y'all voted for. That's what y'all voted for.
Yes! Oh, thanks.
Get him, Miss Jackson. Get him. Get him.
Get him. That's the number one thing we hear. I want to say this. First of all, I did not vote for Brandon Johnson, just like I didn't vote for Joe Biden. A lot of people did not vote for Brandon Johnson. A lot of people did not vote for Joe Biden. Okay?
That's right.
Let's be crystal clear on that. However, you are subjected to this mess just like everybody else. Just like when Trump runs and you don't vote for him, you are still going to be subjected to the policies and procedures that he put in place and laws he put in place under his administration. And if things don't go the way that you may not want to go, then there it goes again. That's what you voted for. That's what you voted for. First of all, people vote for whatever they want to vote for. Now, with that being said, even though I didn't vote for these people, I find it hard to believe that anybody that did vote for Brandon Johnson or Joe Biden, did they really think that Joe Biden was going to open up the border and just let everybody come over here? I doubt it. Did anybody who did vote for Brandon Johnson think that he really was going to have 12, 13 buses a day bringing in immigrants into the... No, even when you hear some of these podcasters play those little slits of the debate, when Joe Biden or Kamala Harris are talking about immigration and what they're going to do for immigration. True. But again, did anybody equate that to them opening up the border, letting people come through a hole in the wall, caravans coming over here, them flying them over here, stuffing people in police stations, warehouses? No, I don't believe that people thought they were voting for that.
Nope.
So that's just an ignorant piece of conversation that needs to go straight away. That's first and foremost. Now, as it pertains to Brandon Johnson himself, I equate him to having a supervisor And if you have public employment, if you've been a public employer before, like I was for almost 30 years,
I am.
What you do know is that the absolute worst thing you can have is a supervisor that's not qualified, that's in a position by way of nepotism, by way of being appointed there, being placed there. For that, they are the worst person to work up under. What they end up doing is micromanaging because they're insecure with what their job really is, which ends up looking like, well, in employment, it's micromanagement. In politics, it's a dictator. It ends up being a dictator. And what Brandon Johnson has done, like what an inept manager or supervisor does, he surrounds himself with a bunch of unqualified and inept people. That way he doesn't get challenged. That way he doesn't get stopped. Everything that he does gets bypassed because the people who he appoints and puts around him know no better. They don't know the law. They don't know how to challenge them. That's the reason why when he was putting people in field houses and warehouses, what did one alderman after another say to us? Ain't nothing we can do. They just told us yesterday, ain't nothing we can do. Because half of them don't know the rights of due process. They don't know the elements of due process, because had they known that, they would have known, no, it's no such thing as him just doing whatever he want to do and tell the public later. But if the people who you have surrounded yourself with does not know the law, they cannot challenge you on the law. And that's how they end up breaking the law and looking at us saying, ain't nothing you can do, ain't nothing we can do. But we're coming down there showing them, oh, yes, it is just something you can do. And if you all are not able to do it, then we're going, what? To the other white boy to get him to do it. Because clearly Trump know how to do it.
Okay. Ms. Jackson, I'm glad you addressed that, because I go live quite often. And I always have people coming into the chat, and they don't know me from Adam's house cat, but they'll come in and say, you voted for this. And then so respectfully, ma'am, sir, no, I did not. I did my research. I did not vote for the Democrats. However, as you just stated, I'm suffering. I made the right choice. I did my research, but I'm still suffering. So I'm always, people come in the chat, people leave me comments up on the videos. That's what you get. You get what you vote for. Ma'am, sir, I did not vote for Democrats. Have a good day. Question.
And not just that,
and then
but
also, you know that, and then also, you know that's hype. And the reason why I say that is because of this. That you voted for it, and it coming from the black people, mostly that say that. White people say it too, but mostly black people that say that. Now, here's the issue. This is how you know it's rooted in ignorance. Yep. First of all, who on this program right now really believes that who gets on Capitol Hill on Pennsylvania Avenue, the fate of the American government is in the hands of the black vote? You really believe that?
Right.
You know, you see what I'm saying? You really believe that? Right. You know, because if that's true, then that really makes it puzzling how it is that our condition is the way that it is all over the country and all these years. If our vote, if black people vote really governs the fate of our government at Capitol Hill, that's nothing but hype. It's the same thing that you're seeing right now with Kamala Harris running and them stuffing it down our throat that she black, she black. No matter how we say that she's not, they tell it she's black, she's black. So when she loses, it'll be the black woman that lost. And it'll be because black people didn't support her. The black people didn't get behind her. Just like if Trump gets in office, it's going to be because black people voted for him. Black people, when they know doggone well we do not have that level of political influence. You know doggone well white people still vote Democrat. Asians still vote Democrat. Latinos, Hispanics still vote Democrat. Indians still vote Democrat. But they'll make it like we're the ones because they'll manipulate the statistic, which is that they say 80 to 85% of us vote Democrat. Right, 80 to 85% of us, Black people, vote, but we're not 80 to 85% of the Democratic vote. We're just 80 to 85% of our dynamic. And they sit there and they manipulate that into making us think, oh, we running this. When we don't do, are you kidding me right now? Because if we are, then somebody needs to explain to me, how did we get in this condition if we run Pennsylvania Avenue?
Say that. Say that.
And then I want to interject this here.
Like when they talk about the Black woman, it's the backbone of the Democratic Party. Are we? What exactly does that even mean? It's just hype to feed this women and children thing that they got going, as if men don't exist. It's an unhealthy theology.
She's speaking nothing but facts.
It's our ideology to keep women and children. You understand what I'm saying? As if Black women so bad, so boss, that we have kids by ourselves. We don't even have men help us make kids. This is how insane the Democratic Party has gotten with the things that they are pushing to us.
Right.
So I just ask people to ponder that for a minute. Right, just ponder that, and then I welcome you. And then I welcome you to look at the actual hearings on Capitol Hill sometime. Actually look at those hearings and see the difference between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. Actually hear how they argue, the different stance that they take. Stop just listening to one side of everything. You cannot get a real balance mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, if only thing you do is listen to one side. You have to have a balance. And part of the balance is listening to sometimes the other side. And you can't do that in the city of Chicago, where everybody is Democrat. Every corner you turn is Democrat. Every person you seek assistance from is Democrat. Now you have to go outside the box, look at the actual government on Pennsylvania Avenue, and look at how they actually move, so that you can make an intelligent decision politically as we move forward.
Facts. And there's some questions for you in the comment section. Scarlett,
let's bring those questions.
Okay. Scarlett Wilson said, does the majority of Chicago feel red? And then I have about two more questions, and that should be it for the questions, I think.
I think majority of Chicago is starting to feel red. I mean, they looking at their conditions.
Okay.
And it goes back to what Ms. Jackson said, that it is ignorance for someone to say that's what you voted for. Because it's ignorance on their part, because evidently they not knowing. Because what the Democrat offer you be something they ain't speak of while they was running. They ain't run on, they ain't came out and told you, we running on making boys and girls use the same bathroom. We running on killing your child at this. They not coming out saying this at wholeheartedly. We running because we put crack on your block. We put guns in these children's hands. We put low quality educations in your school. They not running on that.
Nope.
Because then who would vote for them for that matter? You see, exactly. So our people, excuse me, because it ain't just our people. People, period, sound a fool. And behind the scenes, they doing this, and on these chat boxes and things like that, I believe it's the Democrats itself. Some of these comments, I believe it's Brandon Johnson itself. Some of these comments, I think that it's Kamala Harris herself. You know what I'm saying? And then what part of family do she represent? What part of family? Her husband, y'all saw him on the DNC. He looked like he act like, you know what? I don't want to use the term, but y'all know it's not male, it's not masculine. You see what I'm saying? We got to be honest with things. You know what I'm saying? How can she? No, but our people got to think serious, especially you women out there, like for real. How can she relate with you and she's not a mother? You know what I'm saying? She's not a mother. You know what I'm saying? How can she relate to you? How? Is that possible? She don't know what it's like to get up and feed that baby that milk when it's crying at 5 in the morning and you got to go to work and be there at 6.
Yes.
She don't understand you traveling to the daycare. She don't understand you traveling to the daycare and things like that to provide, etc., with no man in the house. Because that's the same system that ran the man from the house and continue through courts, etc., to go against the man, because as in heaven, also on earth. So when you go against a father on earth, you also going against the father that you believe that out thou in heaven.
Uh-oh.
You
Right,
see?
break it down, break it down.
So that's the things that's going on. Our people, that's why they took certain words out of school. And I said this down in City Hall in one of my speeches. It's the word retardation. Look it up. Because a lot of people are suffering from retardation. Retarded. Lack of growth.
Woo! It's getting
you see?
hot.
That's why I started out as a man speaking. So it is. We speaking some of these things into existence. If you got some damn kind of hope, then you will say, hey, vote red. I'm going red. Even just to try it out, because you know you ain't got nothing else. You know you ain't been given the right things in the past. In your school system across the board. You know how education has changed from somebody being 40 and older to somebody now that's in school. You see how it done changed. You see what it's offering us. You see where it's getting us.
Yep.
Use yourself. You think for a second. Put down the drugs, the alcohol, etc. Just take time out to reflect on what we've been given under the Democratic Party for centuries.
Facts.
For the
And
last,
to add to that too, don't start blaming the old schoolers or the people who are in the baby boomer generation anymore, because a heck of a lot of them are on board with this now. They're not even looking at this the same way.
There's two more questions. There are two more questions here. Have Glamorous asked, have the panelists met with the Trump campaign? Have any of you? No. Okay, so that would
you blinked in and out. I couldn't hear the question. Can you say it again? Because you was blinking in and out.
Yes, ma'am. So Glamorous asked if any of the panelists have met with the Trump campaign.
No.
Can I speak to that? However, so
okay.
Let's say not with the Trump campaign or with the Republican Party per se. However, this what's happening in us is a direct, you could say, the effect of what we've been working on has affected the vote. Okay. And it's not about the Trump, like Jessica say, this is the figure that they're using. This is the tool that's being used. His name. However, this is the party. For us to for right now, Black Americans need to take a conservative stance. We have to get to that area here in the city of Chicago and all around. Right now, that's what we ask. This is what we literally going into that room and saying, look, this is why we choose it. This philanthropy pimping that y'all been doing, this, I don't know, let's say, it's not even generosity. I don't know what to call it, but I know it's a ploy to divide Black American families, to utilize us, to put us in these constrained situations where we feel like we need them or need these parties of people. And that's not it. And it can't be it. So, and to also go back to the last question, not the feel of red, but the thought of red. See, that's what we're getting away from the emotion.
Exactly.
We're coming away from the emotion of it. See, that's where they want us. They want us bogged down in the, dude, like his character is not what I'm putting up the question. His qualification. How is he going to work for this America? Not for whatever your personal interest is. And that's what we see these other people voting on. because we see it coming to reality. What's happening in washrooms, what's happening in our schools, what's been happening in this agenda. But who takes the brunt of it mostly, mainly? Black Americans. Our children riding these subway L's because of housing. Our children, our Black men and women, and just a whole host of people out here because of unemployment. All of this is, how can you be employing people who just got here versus the people who already been up? How can you be giving housing to people who just got here? They came thousands of miles away. Most of them mainly illegal now. We realize, dude, look, you want to give a person the benefit of the doubt. You want to say, hey, Kamala, these people, because it's always this duel against Republican and Democrat, you want to say, hey, man, maybe they just muddling the statistics, but it turn out it's the truth. Now you got to really do your consideration. Wait, if they doing all of this for these people and we going down, that means that they working effectively against us. And my group, because my group ain't going nowhere. And these people have come over here so much so with almost immunity. A guy just shot and killed two men shot and killed these two 54 and 56-year-old man in a JJ's or Sharks or something like that. This was the employee. Now, when we get the headline, it says employee kills. We think that it's some gunplay, some knives. They was trying to jack him. No, this man literally just executed two Black American men
that was homeless.
So these people have been set up in their way of thinking, just like that man coming into that city hall and saying what he said and thinking there was no and he thought there'll be no repercussions behind it. Ooh. There'll be no money for you all. If I was in there, I'm going to jail because I feel quite disrespected. I'm going.
That was bad. That was bad.
Look, it ain't no way you finna come in my granddaddy fought for this. Them liberties that these people get to experience, all of this, my granddaddy didn't even get the experience, and he was in the most hellish war. And y'all telling me that I gotta accept this blatant disrespect, this blatant disregard, and just sit here and take it. That's what they want. That's what they expect from the people.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll tell you, Miss Prosperity was speaking about the car accident, and y'all, I was sitting there looking at all those people's faces, and this when it dawned on me. I was like, these people don't care. And I ain't know y'all then. I was like, these people don't care at all. I'm like, and that was in my mind, just a quiet thought. I was like, and this was months ago. Months ago. So this is what we up against right now, y'all. So no.
There's another question here. The Arena Uncensored said, have you guys requested for Trump to visit?
We say it all the time. Trump come in here. Come in here. We say it all the time. Trump come in here. Come on in here. We say it all the time.
That's on record. That was after Zoe said we turning red, and the person that just echoed that, thank you, was I need some more. It's Miss Jackson. She said it just like that. Trump, come in here because we're not getting no kind of justice.
And Blake
Moore too. We're not getting no kind of justice under this Democratic Party. See that I'm telling y'all, I got a human rights claim. Now, when you file a human rights claim, here's the city of Chicago. You know, they have to do an investigation and they have to have a mediation, meaning the two parties come together to see how they can resolve the thing before it go to court, etc. They not even giving me an opportunity. They're not giving Miss Jackson an opportunity with her case. They're not giving Zoe and her mother and her family an opportunity with their cases. And they done researched and looked up that. I got a video. I had the mayor all the evidence of how the shelter's been doing me and my family, even pictures that showed that they showed us an apartment with blood in the tub, and we supposed to accept that.
Oh, no.
And I hand that to him. They disregard anything. You know, that's why I be down there cussing, because people don't understand the extent of what a person going through. I don't want to put my hands on nobody, because I do. Then you know what I'm saying, I'm losing out on my family and stuff like that. Not just that, certain things do make you feel like you want to unalive somebody, because of the things they intentionally doing. It ain't like you a mistake in the system, or this was an error on this, etc. It's intentionally being done.
Yep.
You see that so it's a blatant attack on you. It's a blatant attack on your family. It's a blatant attack on your heritage, and ultimately it's a blatant attack on our people, because when they pass laws to do things towards you here in Chicago, they amplify that around the country.
Trey, how's it going? How's
You
it
see what
going?
I'm saying? We Chicago is the source. Whether a person won't say, oh, New York and LA, hell no, y'all just some party people. But far as laws, everything amplified out of here. Everything come out through here. The drug trade, everything come up through here. You see, everything been issued out to us here. When they make things in the prison system, usually it be somewhere here in the state of Illinois, and then they sell it on the market to the people. A lot of things come through Chicago. So yeah, we like I say, we frontline workers.
Okay.
We frontline workers, and our bulletproof vest is the Father. No matter if you call them Allah, Jehovah, or more whomever, that's our vest. That's who protecting us. That's why we able to amplify the mic without fear.
My husband over here telling you amen.
Amen. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our parting shots. I didn't mean to keep you all this long, but the conversation's been so good. Everyone give me a parting shot.
So my parting shot is this. I want to bring to mind that we're up against something here in the city of Chicago, dealing with our city government that's been ran democratically for decades now. And in light of what's taken place in the last 4 years, the disregard for education, employment, public safety, and more importantly, housing for Black Americans here in Chicago is so telling. Let's say that. It's not something that's by chance. It's not something that's coincidence. This is a manufactured hardship for Black Americans here. And now we understand that what's been taking place in this last year or so, in the last 2 years, and us being behind $1 billion, them financing whatever this new initiative is up to the point of 223 million, up to the point of 600 million state, up to the point where we end up taking the brunt of it, American citizens, the taxpayers, and they just try to sweep it under the rug, or they just try to mend it by further taxing us once again with the SSA that just came up. It's a lot of intricacies taking place in Chicago, but we know that we can point out directly where it's coming from, and that's out of our democratic representation. So we have to flip red here in Chicago. Not saying it from an emotional standpoint, and I can give you all numbers, I can give you all names. However, what I would say is for you all to do the research. Look at your aldermen. Look at what's been happening in the last, I don't want to say 50 years. Let's just say 10 years or so in your ward, in your community. And then ask yourself, do I deserve this? Do I deserve this? And then account it to your representatives. And now we understand where it's coming from. Black Americans are under attack here in Chicago. And if we don't become aware, if we don't start pushing for change, not just locally, but nationally, if we don't push for change in our parties, this Democratic Party does not regard the Black man, woman, or child. Only thing it regards is your vote.
That's it. Okay.
Period.
Who's next?
I'm gonna go last.
Okay. All right.
I was gonna yield for the women, but I think they're gonna put some of that sassiness into it, so I'm gonna go on and go. Okay. Basically, I just want to tell our people, like, continue to try to think. Ask yourself questions before you act on them things.
Mm-hmm.
Ask yourself the who, what, where, why. And like my brother said, Brother Sam, do your research, do your homework. You know, some people get mad because I say I ain't vote for Barack Obama. I didn't because I sent the agenda that was laid down.
Oh wow.
You see? So you know, and a lot of our people they regretting that. Oh, Obama ain't did nothing to us. Obama ain't did nothing for us, and he haven't, and he will not.
Nope.
You know, when Obama left office, I want to leave the people with this here. When Obama left office and he spoke at the McCormick place. That was his chance to address our young people and the violence and things that was going on here in Chicago. He never addressed that, but he want to address you to vote for someone that's not for us. That's not for us at all. She ain't said no policies. She ain't saying gave you no hope or nothing.
No,
she ain't gave you nothing. So how could you vote for someone and you don't know what you getting?
You know,
it's like getting a Christmas present. It's wrapped up and things like that. You know, you've been telling your mama all year that you want the new G.I. Joe, and then you open it up and it's a Barbie doll. But you's a little boy. You see, we gotta pay attention to the things that's going on. Also support more real news on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all that, you know, show your love, you know what I'm saying? Because the what I'm putting out there to the media of people that speaking and things like that, it's a message in there. And that message can help save our lives. Because these people speaking from their heart, meaning this coming from the great God himself. And I leave y'all with love and peace.
Glamorous had a question. She wants to know what can I guess the people outside of the city of Chicago do to support the panelists? That's a good question.
She's outside the city.
I will address it with those prayers.
Okay.
We need people in support of us in prayer that are outside of the city of Chicago.
Okay.
So that is the ultimate of what can be done, because God ultimately has the control and he hears us. So that's my suggestion.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Miss Jackson.
Well, excuse me. I want to leave you all with the remind you of the interview that was done between T.I. and the late Harry Belafonte. And it was during the period of time of the George Floyd riots and stuff when a lot of people, I guess, was pressing T.I. down there in Atlanta about standing up and being an activist or whatever. And so T.I. met with Harry Belafonte to ask him, how did he, excuse me, in his day, mix celebrity with, balance celebrity with being an activist for the community. And Harry Belafonte, you know, told him, you know, a couple of things about, you know, all that jewelry and stuff. You know, you got to get rid of some of that stuff and be able to identify with the people that you represent and this and that. So that was the first part of the conversation. But the most important part of the conversation was Harry Belafonte explained the difference in time. He explained to T.I. that during the period of time when he was a activist with Martin Luther King and Sidney Poitier and them, that at that time, all Black people knew that they wanted to get out of Jim Crow. Whether you was rich Black, poor Black, Christian Black, non-Christian Black, you know, educated Black, the common thing was everybody needed to get out, wanted to get out of Jim Crow. Whereas today, Harry Belafonte said that we don't have that common space of people anymore. He says, so now the way that we deal with it is when a situation comes to your feet. He said, because as a Black person, eventually a situation will come to your feet. Now the question becomes, how will you handle it? How do you handle it? That's the move now. So that's where we are right now with all four of us. A situation was at our feet. That probate situation ended up at my feet. Lorraine's situation with her car accident ended up at her feet. Michael and his situation with his family, housing, and Sims. These are situations that are at individuals' feet. And so we move in a way of dealing with our own situations. So when somebody says, what keeps you motivated? Or how do you know it's going to turn red? Or all those type of naysayer type energy. What you know is that you have your own situation in front of you. And you cannot let up until you get the resolution and justice that you need for your own situation. And when you get it for your own situation, it'll have a rippling effect for everybody else. But we need to keep in mind that the people that came before us, as much as King and X and M or whoever else wanted us to get this thing, you got to remember, first and foremost, they wanted to get off the back of that bus. They wanted to be right. They wanted to not drink from that water fountain. Their personal issue is what motivated them to keep going. And we need to look at our personal issues. So for that person who says, what can they do for us to support us? I encourage you to look at your own situation. Look at your own life. And that's going to motivate you to do whatever it is that you need to do to straighten this out, to straighten out your life, to straighten out your situation. And that'll have a rippling effect of the same thing that you see that we're dealing with now, the rippling effect of our own personal issues. Just be honest about what's really going on with you. That's your research. That's your research. When you go outside your door and you live in a Black community and it's got a bunch of abandoned lots, a bunch of abandoned buildings, a bunch of businesses that haven't been open in eons, there go your research. It's right there in your eye, right in front of your face.
That's right.
Now you take the personal decision of what it is that you're going to do about those empty lots that's on your block, those empty buildings that's on your block. The fact that they keep on letting these immigrants over here that's making you pay property taxes. I'm looking at the increase in my property tax bill. That helps me keep fighting. That helps gear my mind towards how I'm going to vote. Bump what CBS and CNN are talking about. Your own life experience guides what you do. So I encourage people to get enough courage to do what you need to do to change your own life, which in turn will change our circumstances as a community.
That's excellent. All right. Miss Prosperity, I guess, is going to finish us up.
I'm going to bring a little church up in here. And I'm going to go to Psalm 37:7. So first and foremost, we have to plant a seed in order for the expectation of God to be utilizing for our purposes. So I'm going to start at 7 where it says, be still and rest in the Lord and wait for him and patiently lean yourself upon him. Fret not yourself because of him who prosper in his ways, because of the evil man who bring wicked devices to pass. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not yourself. It tends only to evil doing, which upsets us, angers us. That's where patience come in. That's what I'm trying to work on. For evildoers shall be cut off, but those who wait and hope and look for the Lord shall inherit the earth. For yet a little while, and the evildoers will be no more. Though you look with care where there used to be, they will not be found. I'm standing on that. That's what I'm standing on. Because see, nothing gonna calm me down but keep seeing this word in front of me after I look around my environment. God tells us that we are going to have anger because we have a soul, but we can't go to bed and let the sun go down on our wrath. Right. But sowing that seed, it's not a big deal that you have to do. Plant it. He's going to make it grow up. Spread the word.
Spread the good news about what we are and whose we are and what we can change to make our circumstances better. And that's where it starts with movement, verb. I don't know if they teach that in school nowadays, but I'm going to talk about it. Verb means move, do something. Don't sit still and just believe that things are just going to happen. Get out and do something for yourself, your community, and others, because we're not here to service ourselves. We're here to service others.
That's right.
And when you see somebody else is hurting, help them out. And how you can help them out don't mean that it's always monetary. It could be in your time that you spend. It could be all those type of things that you can do. You can speak a good word. Just sit here and listen to somebody. What are you going through? Oh, I understand. But you don't understand until you walked in those shoes.
That's right.
So we can easily say, I understand. But to be compassionate with them.
Yep.
And then what can you do? Like some of the viewers here today, participants today ask, what can we do for you? See, I appreciate that because many people are takers, but not givers.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of takers, but you know, those givers, if everybody keeps giving out, then we can't go broke. And when I say broke, it don't just mean monetarily. That means that we can continuously progress forward. See, I talked about last time suppression, oppression, depression, and a heck of a lot of S's that I can add up in there.
Yeah.
But how do we make that change? We're not just sitting around complaining about things. We're actually trying to get people educated on things. How do we make that change?
Right.
That's what's essential in order to move forward. And without that, we're going to keep sitting in the same puddle pondering on what's our next move, or do we have another move? And stop the negativity talk. I'm telling y'all, don't come on my channel with that. I'm letting y'all know that right now. I clap back because I'm not going to hear it. I am determined, and I will not allow anything to stop my train from moving. So you either on the train or you off, because even in Matthew 6, it talks about riding that fence. I don't do fences. I'm over here or over there. I'm all in or I'm all out, but it ain't no in between.
Right.
You either hot or cold. And you got to do something because you've been put on this earth for a reason. Know your purpose. Know God's plan for your life. Know whose you are. Understand what you are here for. Learn about it. And then you start aligning your principles and your morals and your values along with the things that work in your life. And a lot of those things are in the Bible. Conservative. That's why we talk about conservative. Align yourself with the things that's going to help you, not hurt you. To lift you up, not keep you down. To move you forward, not hold you back. Well, I can listen to my rhymes too, because I got that going as well. But right now, I want you all to succeed. And the way you succeed is listen to wisdom. Listen to knowledge. Open your eyes and your ears and look around you. Don't be selfish and say it's not affecting me. Because when I first started off, a lot of this wasn't affecting me either. But I saw how it was affecting others. And I was led by God to do something. Get up off my tail and do something. If I got to use my finances, if I got to use my mouth, if I got to use my time, however I got to do it, I do it. And again, yes, I am a person that is still a work in progress, just like a lot of us. We all fall short. And if anybody think they don't, they are lie. And I'm going to clear it and say it. We all fall short. I have fallen short, and I admit it. I repent. But the problem is that we don't want to admit our failures and then clean it up, do better, correct, and move forward. So that's what my parting words are, is that let's look at improving ourselves
and look at the people around you and how you can help. And then once you see all of that going on, you look at our environment and everything that's going on in our neighborhoods, go to that poll with that same mindset. Is my life better today than it was yesterday? Is my life going to change by me making this move? Or shall I just sit still and wait on everybody else to do it?
That's fact.
Because everybody else can't do it for you. We are all accountable for our own actions. So no one is going to hold the accountability when you go to speak before the Lord. Okay? So we got to actually look at what's going on right now and stop being in denial that nothing is wrong with our world.
Facts. Facts.
That's it that I have.
Oh, wow. I can't possibly add anything to the commentaries that we've heard from our distinguished guests here. It's been eye-opening for me when you actually talk to people at the grassroots level who are dealing with these issues on a daily basis. Folks.
All facts.
Yes. These are facts and truths. No fake news here.
Boy, real news here. Boy, real news is here. And for the record, I ain't receiving a dime. I haven't received a dime, and I'm not looking for a dime. I'm doing this out of love, and a concern for us as a nation of people, so we can get back on the right track, up under God eyes.
All of us who refuse to subscribe to the Democratic ideology. I have people coming over here all the time in my chat section. How much is Trump paying you? He's not paying me one thin dime that I'm aware of. And so, again, that's if you don't support Democrats, they call you everything but a child of God. They claim you're being paid. So I'm going through the same thing you're going through. If this live was fire today, go ahead and drop some fire emojis in the chat. They're saying nothing but positive things. This is wisdom. They're saying that this was good. Praise the Lord. Everyone's saying thank you. Oh wow, yeah, nothing but positive adulation here.
Good.
And yeah, everything is great. And
thank y'all for the love. Thank y'all for the love.
Let's give them a round of applause. And we hope that we can bring you back on again. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I told you I want to see Chicago flip red. That is, I'm doing what I can, trying to disseminate this information because I want to see that happen. That's going to be something very significant to me. And again, with all of us, we all are. I spoke with Miss Prosperity earlier. We all have the same goal, and so if we all continue to share this information, we can get it done. We got to be positive, like Miss Prosperity said, because we want the same thing. And so everyone's saying wonderful live. Thank you, the guests. It said great conversation. So we love you, brothers and sisters. So yeah, nothing but good things here. This is a positive.
Well, you know what? Let me add this real fast. When you're talking about the flipping, it's my understanding that in order for it to be considered to be flipped, it's that it take 13% of the vote. Not that the whole city has to vote. My understanding that it takes 13%. And I believe that we have 13% in the city. Not just 13% of the black vote. I think we have 13% of the city. So I just want to clear that up because a lot of people think when you say flip red, that it means that now you look on the map on November and Chicago, Illinois, the whole state gonna be red. No, it's my understanding that once you hit the 13% mark, that's considered a flip.
Okay, so that's what we're shooting for then. Okay, I'm glad you clarified that for us.
And one more thing, I want to send a shout out to Mr. Blake Moore. I want to send a shout out I want to send a shout out to Zoe. And Zoe is proof. She got off this line to go take care of business for eminent domain, fighting for the people. We out here for real. We out here.
Right.
Like y'all say y'all out on the streets, etc. We actually out here on front line speaking truth to power for these people in these political and powerful positions that means our people no good, and we standing up with the courage of Allah, or the courage of Jehovah, or the courage of whatever you want to call the creator. We got that in our heart because it's coming from him for us to do these things. You notice we ain't ask for no finance, we ask for prayer.
That's
Oh,
right.
We're not playing no game. We're not playing no game.
Wait a minute, hold on.
All hands on deck. And they can keep on. That's Zoe's statement. All hands on deck. Shout out to Zoe. And in the voice of Mr. Blackmore, they just keep on 69 in each other then. Because we going to do what we need to do.
That's right. Oh, wow. This
And
has been great.
if I wait, if
You
I
can
can
left that part out. You can left that part.
look, and if I can look for those that did ask for support, is to keep y'all eyes on what's going on, to keep bolstering it, to keep paying attention. It's working. That's all I can say.
Okay.
The response from our city government shows us that it's working.
Okay.
It is. It is. We working those nerves, and they are falling. They're failing. They're actually the walls are crumbling down.
The Democrats have given up the ship.
Y'all see Jessica all the time working those nerves because she come up there nonstop without even holding back.
I don't want her to stop. Don't hold back.
That thing.
And then you got your More Real News, you got Taiwan, you got Zoe, you got George Blakemore, and then I get down there. I'm not as regular as they are, but trust, I've been down there every month since November. So it's several times.
And then Alicia come through. You know she be hot. Look, P-Ray come through. She be hot. Doris come through. She be hot. It's a lot of power when she come through. She hot. You know, now we the ones that's down there all the time. But let me be the first one to say, it's a lot of us that don't come down as regularly as we do. But when they are there, yes, they are melting that mic. Yes, they are.
That's what we need to keep.
There's also activity going on outside of City Hall too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Loran. Yeah.
What's all the people
besides just what you see in that City Hall? True. Yeah. And shout out to Chicago for putting out their work. Shout out to Chicago.
Say that.
Because it's a lot of people.
Shout out to Chicago.
Listen, from what's his name? With the cons for Trump. That's what's his name, Muhammad.
Tyrone Muhammad.
Look, Cata Trust to the people on the South Side, everybody that's pushing this initiative, P. Ray, Miss Jackson, Young Bay, Zoe, everybody from the North Side to the far South Side that have come to pay attention and to really be intentional in this vote and to really pay attention to what's going on. Because if we don't, it's over. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this moment in my life. I'm telling you, it's an awakening for us as a whole, as a culture, to be able to look through the mess, discern it, and see it through in us. This is our moment. We're not the catalyst for these groups. This is the catalyst moment for us to really take back what's ours. Like not what's ours, but take back our moments. That these people have literally chosen to eradicate us.
They're trying to get rid of it. That's the Democrats.
How can you represent the people to destruction? No, that's no good. You can't represent the people.
To all those who I met along the way with their protests in Chicago. I started off in Brighton Park.
With Jacqueline and them, and y'all and Cassia and them. Shout out to y'all.
Say that.
And you can see them people speak on more real news. You can see them people on more real news videos on the real. It's a lot of people that's not regular, but you know, you don't know what their life is, but we know where they heart at. You know, that's what matters. We know where they heart at.
Prosperity Channel, and even Miss Rowland's channel is picking up a lot of this. So let's give a shout out to you as well.
Shout out to Black media. Shout out to Black.
Yes.
We want to be Black media. We want to be Black media.
Shout out to Black media. You got Anton Daniels. You got Demetra K. and Donovan. You got Vicky Diller, Tariq Nasheed, Professor Black Truth, Red Supreme, Black Alpha Network, Afro Elite. All of them carry Chicago, and they carry our information. Shout out to Black media.
Martin Johnson, etc. We not hating on nobody. Even Martin Johnson, Tyrone Muhammad, etc. We trying to show love and unity so our people can get over the mountaintop like Martin Luther King, so we can see the other side of what it really looked like.
Say that. Who have we forgotten anybody? We said Afro Elite, right?
Yes. Afro Elite.
That kid bringing with Afro Elite.
That kid bringing major information, y'all. Follow his page.
Yeah,
look,
he put
young man.
Shout out to Dana with the data, and Judge Joe Brown, who gave us that federal information in terms of how to attack this problem. Shout out to Black media, the African diaspora. The list goes on and on. Shout out, because they are not giving us the media coverage at City Hall. But when you all put your phones up, and then they get it, and then they talk about it and keep it going. Shout out to Black media. Shout out to them. Anybody I mischarge it to my head, not to my heart, because we love y'all. Y'all holding it down for us. That's how you do it. Let's go, Black Chicago, Black media. Yes.
Hey, we're gonna keep it in the news. We're not going. Hey, we're gonna keep on as long as it's going on. We're gonna be reporting on it, so that everyone knows what's going on in Chi-Town.
Say that.
Amen. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's an honor for you to have us on this show. And I speak for all of us. Trust me, we appreciate you. We appreciate the opportunity. We humble back. You know what I'm saying? And though she say she ain't being patient, but the Father kept her patient too. So we humble back, you know what I'm saying? So much love to everybody, support. Just for having the ear helps. You see, just by having the ear, you know what I'm saying? We love everybody, you know, and we love ourselves. And that's why that's why we speak how we speak.
We're here for you. We're gonna keep telling people what's going on about your plight, about the evil Democrats, and we're not going anywhere.
And I do want to add that Deep South Press Corps that's been holding it down at the City Hall meetings, as well as the South Side and any other connections with that. Zoe Lee has been actively new on the team amongst many others.
Patrice Stewart that's rocking with her now, that helped with these shirts. I think her last name is Stewart, Patrice Stewart.
Yeah, shout out to Patrice Stewart. Yeah, that's her name. Yes, much love to that sister too. You know.
Yes,
and what else? What else before we get out of here? So we don't get local media. However, if there's any local media, what we got? WGN here. We got a couple people. These people avoid us like we the plague. However, that shows that it's working also. However, if there's any anchors, of course, by anybody that just want to come and get the real news, I look. Donald Trump was screaming fake news, and we was kind of hung up on that, right? They were faking the news, is what he been saying. These people have cornered the media so much so that they feed us their agenda. No, so if there's anybody that's willing to cover these true stories and get this truth out about what's going on in Chicago, please reach out. Please.
I've been to I've been doing this for about a year. When I really started research and I found out what was going on in Chicago, and I tell you now, I used to live in New York, so I said, let me see what's going on there too. And I was like, okay, no, this is not going to work. And that's when I pivoted, and I started. That's when I started covering this about a year ago, because I didn't start my channel talking about politics. I started it doing book reviews and interviewing celebrities. That's what. And then I pivoted once I did my research. I said, okay, I need to do this.
Say that. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you. We appreciate you. You know, it's so many of you. You know, it's hard to even count. You know, you got Black conservative perspective, Black righteous perspective, the modern Renaissance man. I mean, it's lit. Oh, popping politics, they hot. You know, it's so many. And we just appreciate the professionalism that you all have, the dedication that you all have to keep Chicago covered. Shout out to Black media. Let's go.
Say that.
You definitely deserve better than what you've been given. And I'm just like you. I want those Democrats. I want them gone. I want them out of there. I will be so happy. I want them gone as bad as you do, and I have faith that you guys can, and girls, ladies can do it. And I'm just watching it. I mean, I'm watching it very closely. That's something I want to see happen in my lifetime, and I feel you're gonna do it. So
I believe we are. We got 13%.
Okay.
Yes.
Now that you explained it to us, yeah, I'm sure. Oh yeah, I'm sure you can do that.
And by the time that automatic election come up for the aldermen,
yep.
Where I found housing that's where I'm running at.
That's right.
For the people, y'all gonna know that I came from the ground floor. I ain't got no strings attached. I ain't got no finance or nothing from nobody. I'm honest. I can show my bank account, etc., and I can relate to the people because I know what we done been through as a people, and what I'm going through as a person. So. Just look out for me.
Right.
Much love.
Much love to all of you. I've enjoyed this. I hope that you'll come back again prior to the election. Of course, I'll be talking to Miss Prosperity. We talk in text frequently. So we're I'm gonna keep up with what's going on and see when your schedules will work out so you can come back on again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank
everyone. Have a blessed evening too.
Thank
you again for taking your time out this evening.
Yes. Have a wonderful week, Miss Prosperity. I'll probably be talking to you momentarily. I'll probably sit.
I know. Yeah. We sisters.
Yes. And because I'm trying to find out about them those shirts. So you're gonna be hearing from me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Michael and Sims, I'll see y'all Tuesday.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Yes, ma'am. Right. and watch out for our videos. Our video and more real news because I'm putting it out and he putting it out firsthand. And we seeing what y'all not seeing behind the scenes that the news won't even show you.
Yeah, so that's what I want to say. Tune in. So my name is Tawan Sims. That's TIWONSIMS. Tune in to the page because I'm posting every day, and I want to amplify it. That's the reason I post, to amplify this, to push this, and Miss Jessica be channeling some man. Right. I'm telling you, these people it's killing them. So let's just finish them. Let's just flip it. Look, I'm calling her Jessica the Spatula. Look, Jessica the Spatula.
Platform you're on too. Don't forget to tell them the platform.
Oh, sorry about that. So it's TikTok and Facebook. I'm on all platforms as my name. However, on TikTok, I'm really focused on what's going on right now. So I'll be pushing it.
So we'll come over and follow you. Not a problem.
Awesome.
All right. Everyone is saying thank you. This was a great stream. That's everyone's just giving you adulation. So
thank you all so much.
Thank you guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you, ladies, for tuning in.
Thank all of you. Everyone, thank you so much for spending your very valuable time here at the Rollins Reviews YouTube channel. And I hope, again, all of our esteemed panelists,
will definitely come back.
Roland's Review, please go and tap into her page. Roland's Reviews, more real news. Please tap in, y'all.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't possibly add anything to what you've already stated. So I'll say enjoy the rest of your evening, and you don't have a choice. You have to come back on again.
We ain't got no problem. And watch when we come on again. Watch how we attack it from other issues as well, because we speak on all issues for our people. We don't let none slide past down there in City Hall.
Yes, sir. Fight, fight, fight.
All right.
Chicago
Good
Red.
night.
Good
Chicago
night.
Red.
Go red.
Go red.
Stay red.
Go red.
Go
Go
red.
red. Stay
Go
red.
red. Go red. That's it. Have a
Much
good
Good
love.
night.
Night.
much love to all of you.